Sure, Mike. Add. All right, we got my audio. I get everyone else's audio. Give me a moment here. Audio output capture.
Get into these like
all right,
half
there
an
we
hour
go.
early.
There we go.
It's
All right.
on time.
Sorry, everyone. New setup, as you sure can tell. Some things not exactly in the right places, but we're back. We're here. I'm pretty sure everyone can hear everyone now. We all good? Everyone?
Yeah, we're all right. We all right.
Can you hear us?
Sound. All right.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Team JYCT podcast. I am your host, Remy McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the awesome Judgmental Critter.
That's me.
The obsessively vitrolic. I will keep changing that adjective. Young Kaiser.
You see, I'm based off of X, so I'm the variable when it comes to adjectives that describe it, okay? That's how this works.
The wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
Today we have two major things on the docket. The one of them is involving this. There's a black line. Where is this black line on? Why?
Kaiser has a glitch.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
there
probably,
is
I don't
something.
know.
Where is this black line coming from? I don't know.
I
don't know.
The first on the docket is the black line.
Is it someone's green screen?
Oh yeah, it is. I think it's Twice.
What?
There we go. Got it. It's because the window was capturing. I didn't crop it all the way. It was capturing the gray bars on every side of you. All right.
Get on the ball, Raymond.
Look, there's always going to be kinks to work out.
No, it's because you wanted to digest first before coming in and doing all your business.
I just ate some hamburgers, man. I need time on that. Anyway, we have two major things to talk about. The second one for today, as you can already tell, is going to be Rebel Moon by our good friend Zach Snyder. I don't know. Trying to find the funniest way to pronounce his name.
There's Snyder.
You can do a lot with the name Zach. Zachary, Zachariah, Zatch Bell.
I was going to say Zatch.
Zatch Bell.
We don't use that word. Gash Bell is better. The sub is always
Zach
better.
Snyder. That's his name.
I don't think I'll ever watch the Japanese of Zatch Bell, to be honest with you.
It's so good. I'm like 30 episodes in. It is absolutely really, really good. The dub gutted the ever-loving shit out of it. It is legitimately awesome.
But
Oh, I bet. But it's one of those anime that you watch as a kid, and you're just like, yeah, no. My nostalgia has its grubby little fingers all over this. I can't not watch. It's like Sailor Moon. Like everything else just feels wrong.
Oh, somebody said Zach Zach of House Schneider.
but yes,
Hack Snyder.
the other thing that we can touch on, thankfully, is something else came out this past weekend, which was
Apparently.
Ruby Beyond Episode 1.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And we're just gonna touch on this briefly because honestly, that's all it deserves.
It's only 3 minutes long.
You managed to get an hour out of it. That was fun.
For those who don't know, Critter streamed her entire reaction and discussion to it on her channel. Go check that out. It
honestly,
was really fun. Oh, but she got really angry. She
Had a
got
whole
yeah, she did.
meltdown.
Oh wow! Okay,
I was living.
I said
was
to
living
myself
for it.
yesterday. I said to myself yesterday that I was gonna watch it, but I fucking forgot because I was working on IRL stuff and other things.
Teddy Bear Paladin says, "Old man fear, the unmoving eyes of a doll, a painting, a poor simulacrum of the human body, such inert things and yet so unsettling, much like the lifeless visage of a corpse."
Oh, yes. Yes.
Does-
The
does
Teddy
he
Bear
ju-
Paladin lore.
Does he just like? Dude, do you just like spend the entire week just to make each one of these? Do you have like some of them months ahead of time? Like, dog, you are cooking.
Son, did you
We need
just
to make a-
did you just watch
We need to make like
Jaws?
a compilation of everyone that like throughout all these streams to like get the full lore.
But yes, so Ruby Beyond came out, and I remember the visceral reaction in the Sketchy Huntsman and in the Tundra at the reveal of the thumbnail of it being the junior detectives all over again. Which is a joke that even in its time I thought was worth maybe a polite chuckle at best. Otherwise, I thought it was completely out of character. And you'll remember fixing Volume 2, I'm pretty sure I got rid of it because I didn't think it was all that
I'm very sure.
I know nothing about the junior detectives thing because I know that was mostly done in Ruby Chibi, and I have never watched it.
Yeah.
Also,
Me neither.
I've never watched Ruby Chibi either. I just know it from the actual show, and that somehow it became a meme in the fandom that people like.
yeah, but that was the volume
know
that
how
I
that
never. That was the volume that I never watched, though.
Oh,
We have Volume 2.
well, don't worry. Volume 2's not canon until it is.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Because of the stream that we did 2 weeks ago, it is canon again because Coco is mowing down the Grim again.
Yeah. Oh, before we move on, I got 2 people talking to me. Josh says Raymond's stream scuffing semblance strikes again. Yes, he needs to turn his semblance off.
Oh my god.
Look, blame the air conditioning going out this week. It has been fucking hot in here.
Ew. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. It's been a nice 40-ish degrees up here in American. That's 7 degrees for the rest of the world.
Okay.
And
40
Ryan,
degrees. Wait, what
40,
did you say?
40 something, I said.
In American?
Fahrenheit.
That's what. Yeah, Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 47 or something like that. I don't know.
It's been 47 bald eagles.
Ryan also asks if I should watch Sailor Moon. If you want to, the original anime is very long. So if you want to, it's going to be a commitment, though.
I will recommend the original anime over either the manga or the.
Oh my god! I tried to read the manga.
I recommend it over the manga or over Crystal because the Crystal is very faithful to the manga, and the manga is so bare bones. Meanwhile, in the anime, they turned the anime into like a show that has a lot of people call it filler. But a lot of that filler time was actually spent really fleshing out the characters. So a lot of the cultural zeitgeist about a lot of the Sailor Moon characters comes from the original anime, where these characters got a lot of different time to breathe and talk about things, as opposed to the original the original manga and the Crystal anime, where it feels like the rest of the Sailor Scouts,
They truncated it.
well, no,
Yeah.
it feels like they just show up and are just kind of there. Well, like,
Oh.
and obviously, like,
Oh.
Sailor Moon is like
Yeah.
the focal character, sure, but it feels like they aren't even like they have like one defining.
But it's still
characteristic.
about the team, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Still, it's still supposed to be about the team and their interactions with
There's
each other.
this whole arc. That's where I dropped the dropped Crystal. It was actually right before the end of the first season, where
Oh,
there was an
damn.
entire episode where it was, oh man, she's been such a good friend to us, and I'm like, where, when? You guys have had maybe like a total of 5 interactions. I've seen nothing of this.
Dude, I am just imagining Raymond just watching this and like him having the reaction of, wait a minute, who are you?
No, you need to understand this. Like, Sailor Moon got me into the Yuri fandom. So
Alright.
I had high hopes for Crystal
Yeah.
and like fleshing out
Okay.
characters that I loved, like Ami and Makoto, who were my first Yuri ship.
And then they honeypot.
And then
you.
they
dip you over.
barely get any screen time. It's like no, these characters are so Ami's the smart one, Makoto is the strong one, Rei is the
Alright.
hot-headed one, Minako is the bubbly one. That's it.
End.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
Compare. I'm pretty sure the first season of the Sailor Moon original anime had about 50 episodes. Am I wrong on that? I think
I think you're more or less relatively correct.
it might have been. Like,
I mean, it
40.
was made by Toei,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it had to be around that.
It might have been 40. It might have been something like that. But the Crystal only has 12. Like, and just it's so much gets lost in between. The arc where you have Naru and Nephirite. I want to say it's Nephirite. It might
I'm
be.
not gonna remember any of their names.
Well, it's kind of easy to remember the names of the henchmen of Dark Moon because they're all based off of crystals.
See,
So
I know that, but like I'm terrible naming crystals. So.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't unless their name is like Amethyst. I'm not gonna remember.
you would hate Steven Universe.
Nephirite, Zoisite. Those are the two I got.
Nephrite, Jedi.
Jedi. I always forget about Jedi.
Yeah.
Jedi, that's in Star Wars.
From my
silly.
perspective, the Jedi are.
Like, there's a whole arc where like one of the demon generals effectively falls in love to some extent with, admittedly, a teenage girl. It's a little bit creepy in that regard, but it's actually a pretty decent arc for a character kind of edging towards redemption and then dying before he can reach that point. It's like you lose all of that. I mean, I think it's I think it's still.
Oh, that was
Crystal,
so good.
Dude,
but it's like it's so
Dude.
truncated, it's worthless.
CBF, I think CBF has this whole entire thing right. Sounds like a certified Ruby moment. That's what this sounds
by the
like.
way, Dragon Ball Z says, "Can you dedicate this stream to my birthday? Sunglasses, moon, moon." You
Happy
certainly
birthday!
can.
Yo, happy birthday, dog.
Happy birthday.
Good job on doing that whole being born thing.
There you go, you little slugger.
Happy celebration of you not dying during childbirth. How about that?
Oh,
The other one is Kunzite, I think.
right,
is his
Kunzite.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Ruby Beyond was so much nothing that we've instead talked exclusively about Sailor Moon this whole time.
All right. So you know what? I will
Yeah,
summarize.
what even happened?
Okay, I'll summarize for Kaiser's benefit. So, we open this little exploration on Sun and Neptune playing up their detective roles, trying to figure out what happened to Team Ruby. There's already a problem here, but
What
we'll
the
get to
fuck?
that.
Why?
We'll get to that. They're trying to figure it out,
Okay.
and like no one's giving them a clear answer, I guess. And then they have like a section where Sun asks questions to Neptune as Neptune poses as I think it was Ren, Nora, and who was the last? Crow. And like they all kind of give him the cold shoulder. I think they turn them away. so they start there and basically just they run through basically a mock-up of these interviews, and they just keep getting shut down because no one wants to talk about that shit, which is fine, I guess.
They also refer to all of these people as the perpetrators, as if they're accusing Ren, Nora, and Crow of being the reason Team Ruby is missing.
Yeah,
which is
because
just
that's
cool.
that's the kind of tone we want to set when we're talking about one relatively important side character, looking for the main characters after they possibly die.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
That's going on, and then they get the idea, oh, I know, we can go like hang out with the headmasters and figure out what they're doing. Yeah, like that wouldn't be the first place to go. So they basically follow Oscar, and they confirm the name Oscar into canon. That irritated me. But they kept on. They follow them in, and we get a peek in at Crow. Sorry, it was Oscar, Theodore, Winter, and Raven all meeting in a conference, and a mysterious fifth person that they theorize might be the maiden, which indicates that they know about the maidens.
Honestly, the only part of that thing that was worthwhile, and not because of the maiden, but because we got Theodore face reveal.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we do?
We actually get to see who Theodore. Who is
About
Nick
friggin'
Body.
time!
he is
10 out of 10.
my only issue
Dark
is
Theodore.
my only issue is I thought he was way older in the books. I think he was described older in the books. And B, he's kind of a fucking idiot in the books. So
Oh, wow.
it's like
Oh dear.
you kind of he's a himbo. Like, I mean, I know that some people are gonna like
even
that.
better.
but-
Even better.
I don't know. Like, look, they already have so few characters of color. Do you really want to waste it on one that apparently has a lower IQ?
Nah, make them an actually entertaining character, please. Yes,
All
that's
right,
what I
all right.
want.
I suppose that's fair enough.
I'd rather take an adorable little himbo than some moody, broody, same as every other character. This war is so tough. When
Yeah.
War never
But
changes.
they hint at this fifth character who's like wrapped up in like these robes, and then they're like, no more suspects. We're running out of board space. No new characters. And it's like, I don't know what to make of that, because that's clearly a meta line. But is that indicating that not going to be a new character that gets to be the Summer Maiden? Because I don't fucking know.
I think it's just Carrie
Yeah.
thinking he's very clever, and is
Dude.
not.
No,
And-
no, it's not.
Especially since I watched Leon Critique's review of the full epilogue the other day, and he got to the part where the two I guess antagonists from the book showed up, and apparently it's incredibly out of character for them to continue to be villains past this point. Now, I haven't read the book, so somebody verify that for me. But if that is true,
no, I
Okay.
think it would actually be well within character for them to be villains. The problem is the kind of villains they would be.
yeah,
because
okay.
they are intent on taking back the fucking crown. They're
Right.
literal usurpers. I don't think they would team up with someone that would hand them the power. I think they'd be like, fuck you. It's
I mean,
our
especially
power.
if they're the devil, you know.
Yeah, like if they ever learn what Salem's true plan is, they're turning on her. But that also raises the question of why no one else has turned on Salem yet.
Yeah,
Because the Kool-Aid man is red. I have no
because the plot says so. That's why.
Because they read the script.
Yeah, I read the script. Look. It's right there on the floor.
But yeah, so that was basically the entirety of it. I think at the very end, they just get flung out of the way by Crow, who's coming to the meeting. He's just like, get the fuck out of here. That's it.
It wouldn't be so horrible. I got very spicy when I was reacting to it.
Apparently.
Here for it. I was like, yes, critter. Yes.
Hold that thought.
It wouldn't have been so horrible if it wasn't hot off the heels of the very emotionally turbulent and dramatic and serious Volume 9
Yes.
epilogue.
Yeah.
If it was like
Yeah.
before that or something, or completely separate, or anything, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Right,
Hold any
yeah.
more thoughts? I want to hit these 2 super chats that we got. Seawits, that's a pretty involved question. We'll get to that shortly here. I want to get to the other one first. NinjaBot360 says, fun fact, at the premiere of Rebel Moon, a YouTuber was walking with a friend and at a certain point said, come on, let's go to bitches with Zach Snyder. He turns around and sees Zach's wife in front of him.
What?
Very unfortunate.
Bitch! Wait, no.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Go to.
Maybe is it a typo?
Is it to go get bitches? Go get his bitch, quote unquote. I'm trying to figure out what you're.
I'm confused.
Anyway, Seawitch says, I'm having a little trouble figuring out a start to my story. How would you guys write the start of something? That is a very involved question.
Well, first of all, what is your story, and like what is the general plot of it? Then you can figure out how to start the story. Typically, though, you'll want to start the story, and I do mean this kind of seriously, but you want to start the story at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to really say because I have no idea what the premise of your story is. So I have no idea how you want to do that.
For me to elaborate on what I mean by start the story at the beginning, I mean like don't start a week or a month before the events of things that happen. Start the story like relatively close to the inciting incident of the story where things take place. Because like if you're going to start the story like a week in advance, then your characters are going to be meandering around. They're not going to be doing a whole lot of really interesting stuff. If you start it relatively right before when shit goes down in your story, then you're going to have a good starting point for the story.
Right.
You want something called a hook. A hook is it's a writing term used to like you want to hook your audience in, and a best way to do that is, I would say, start in the middle of something happening. An example, like off the top of my head, in the very first scene of the show, Reservation Dogs, they're like hijacking a truck filled with chips because they want to steal all the chips. This is not really relevant to the rest of the story, but it does, one, offer us something exciting to see right off at the very beginning, and two, their like adventures of trying to hijack this truck tells us what their personalities are like at the same time. So think of something like that.
Yeah, or
definitely
something.
Don't start with a big old dump of exposition.
No, please don't. No. Or if you're going to do something like that, at least do it something like what Avatar's first episode did, where it's actually well written or has good dialogue.
I was gonna say
another example of that I would say is like Batman the animated series. I'm pretty sure that has a very similar beginning where we just are in the freaking Batman trying to stop a bad guy, and we just get introduced to everybody through that.
For all of its faults, Inception, which I only say that because I love Inception. I haven't looked at it critically, but the very opening section of Inception is them very quickly introducing the main character and the main overriding like mechanic of the story, whereby it's him doing a dream heist like they do in over the rest of the film. So basically you kind of give like I typically try to give like a small, or I would like to give a small microcosm of what the story is going to be about in like a more contained environment that then can just naturally bleed over. James Bond films are typically kind of like that, where they have like an opening action sequence that like is Bond on the tail end of one of his other missions, and he's coming right off of it, sliding right into the next mission once he gets back to MI6.
Even better if the thing they're doing is like if it's in a fantasy setting, if the thing they're doing can like tell us some world building. Like I know in like the first episode of Arcane, they're stealing something from like the fancy town, and that like tells us a lot about fancy town versus slum town where they're from.
Have you started watching Arcane yet?
I watched the first 3 episodes. I made a worth watching video about it.
I remember you made that
How
video.
did you watch the first 3 episodes and not finish the series?
I was going to. I had 100% planned on doing it. I don't remember what happened. I got very distracted with something.
I bet it
must
was
have been
Ruby.
one of
Ruby's evil
my
like that.
many
It's always Ruby.
multi-hour long reviews.
Also, J.K. Lilly asks, am I going to watch Velma season 2? Bitch, I never even saw season 1. Keep it moving.
Gross.
Please be kinder to our people supporting this.
No, I'm sorry. I'm joking, of course. But no, I haven't even seen season 1 yet. I've seen reviews about it, and everything about it just makes me want to just not. But hey, maybe if I don't know. I'll need some convincing to actually want to watch that thing.
Some more examples of stories that have really good beginnings. I would want to say, well, we were talking about Sailor Moon earlier. You have half of the episode dedicated to the introduction of the main protagonist, and then her being pursued by the cat that gives her her magical powers. You have. We've talked about it a lot at Eka 7, where half of the episode is establishing the main character and how boring he finds his life and how he wants to do something, and that's going to establish his actually going and doing something when he's provided with an opportunity to do so later on.
The Zekitor says, my story is in a retro-futuristic world where humans and monsters coexist. There's a task force with stopping the evil monsters that our main character is a part of. I call it Maze Works.
Okay,
that's cool.
So there's a lot you can do with that in terms of like the first thing that you can have in a story.
For the record, that wasn't the guy that sent the super chat. That was someone I thought.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
But if you're looking for a way to start that, I mean, like, God, you're a task force. You have so many options. You're middle of a police procedural. Like, you could have a sting operation going off, or a raid, or literally anything. Good example. Look at the movie Hannibal. The movie Hannibal starts off with a pretty good establishment of the main of Clarice in the middle of a police sting that goes wrong. So like that's. I only know that because Dead Meat just recently did a video on it.
If you have the story where the character is just going into this task force for the first time, it could be that maybe it's a flashback to when this character was saved by the task force, like when they were younger, and that inspired them to want to go into the task force. So then you flash forward, and they're trying to get into the task force, or maybe they just graduated and their reaction to getting into that task force and then being overwhelmed by what they have to do.
See what's actually gotten back to the premise I have is a country inspired by a mix of Ireland, Japan, and the ancient civilization of the Book of Mormon. A bounty hunter or muscle for hire, specifics not figured out, finds the Queen of Owls, which are evil in Irish mythology, and then them being equal main characters like Hunter x Hunter. I mean, that's a very good premise.
You could do something really crazy. Start with the villains doing something like some big show of force to establish how powerful they are, and then you understand what kind of levels your protagonist needs to reach in order to eventually beat these antagonists.
Yeah, because if they're going to be basically the deuterogonists of your story, like you say, then that could be a good way of just like seeing things from their perspective first, especially if they are the ones that are going to be enacting the most change in the story, in the world, I mean. They're going to be responsible for the inciting incident, presumably. Actually, that's another good thing that would add to this. What is the inciting incident of your story? You need to figure that out as well, because that can influence how you're going to start it.
Yeah. If it's them meeting, then start with them meeting. Like, you could have an entire inner monologue from one of the characters talking about what they're going to do, and either are they trying to meet this person, or if they're not, like, there's so many different ways you could explore that. If he's been sent out to go get her, or he finds the queen. So if he just finds her along one of his paths, maybe he's in the middle of doing something else and she tags along. Like there's you have such a broad playlist there. You could do anything.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
important to look at things that you think execute it well. And also, you could watch something like Rebel Moon and understand how it does it poorly.
Yeah.
Nice segue.
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna try and get us back to the Ruby thing, but I think we're pretty done on that one. It's not really anything worth talking about.
Yeah, Ruby's done.
Well, if you're having trouble with how the characters meet, well, like what is the issue that causes these characters to need to form this task force in the first place? So
Actually, oh god.
like if they're the aggressors in this story, that they're going out into the wilderness to find this evil entity or whatever, why do they need to do that in the first place? Like, what is it about this creature that makes them so dangerous that they have to go find this thing?
Yeah, actually,
Like,
work. Sorry, God, I didn't know you weren't fish.
you can't just have a story where random characters go into the woods for a random reason for no reason. It has to be very specific, very deliberate. You're going to the store to buy food because you are hungry, not you're going out to a random place for a random reason because fuck it. You know?
Like if you write it down in like if you're struggling, write it down in a super simplistic way, like how you would like Red Riding Hood.
Bullet point.
Riding Hood goes into the forest, but why? Oh, she's going to see her grandmother, but why?
Yeah.
And as you sit there and think, why did point A reach point B? You can develop each point further to explain all the things, and that might help you figure out what you want to do.
There's this guy. I think I mentioned him before in this podcast, but there is this guy named Film Script Man. And he does a really great job breaking this sort of thing down. What he talks about a lot is character motivation. Motivation, at least in his mind, is more important than personality. Personality is important, of course, for your characters. But in terms of starting the story and getting the skeleton of it, you need to work out what do your characters want and why do they want it. Actually, see what's commented here. So the story of why owls are evil is... Matheny, the Owl Queen person, was found unfaithful, so maybe the start could be her being discovered. Oh, yeah.
Starting with a sultry affair, like that's a decent way to start a story. Like it actually is kind of strange to me because like I find it really easy to come up with like the beginning point of stories. It's like one of the first things I think of is like the inciting incident, because that's always the most exciting thing. It's usually the things in between the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's all supposed in between those 3 points that I struggle with.
Yes, 100%.
There is a reason why when writing stories, the middle part is usually called the soggy middle, because most people struggle with that part of the story in particular.
The soggy middle.
Yeah.
I had never heard that before.
Well, speaking of a soggy middle, let us finally get off this topic and roll into
Schneider.
Soggy Schneider.
Oh my God, you're right. You're so right. The middle of this movie is soggy. It's so soggy.
What middle?
See, I am
the beginning takes half of it.
Wait, come on, guys. I haven't seen the whole movie yet.
Oh my God, Kaiser! You had one job.
You had one job. You could have come into the stream with us.
I tried to, but I didn't have the time.
You know what? I don't blame you. I didn't want to finish it the first time either.
Oh no, I unironically loved it. Also, I realized I gotta recrop Kaiser here briefly. No one pay attention to the bullshit that's happening.
No one look at the man behind the curtain.
But you are right. I think the strongest part about Rebel Moon was the beginning, and then at the very least you had a battle to like entertain you with flashing colors and dangling keys in front of your face and stuff. But the middle of it, in between those two moments, is all basically just boring nothing. So it is very.
There are some parts from the group watch you did in the Tundra that I did get to see, and much of that is I have some thoughts.
So let's start from the beginning here. We get a bit of exposition. Not always a good sign is when you're opening with an exposition crawl, but you know, it's based on Star Wars. And by base, I mean ripping off Star Wars.
Because you can feel that this monologue Anthony Hopkins delivers was 100% written to be a text scroll. And that's why he doesn't actually say anything with any, like, character. It's just exposition.
Yes. So first things first, we're going to play a little bit of a game here as we go along, which is called Guess the Inspiration. With the biggest goddamn quotes you can manage to put around the word inspiration. Because...
Oh, nice. You paused on the space vagina.
I know, that was intentional.
Oh my god!
Dude, that is so unfortunate.
No,
Oh
it is
my
not
God.
unfortunate. I guarantee you it's deliberate. Have you seen a Zack Snyder film?
He's
I mean,
so
that is
weird
true.
about women, right? Like,
Well,
he's
no,
super weird.
not just that, but also men. Like, let's
Oh my
not forget,
God.
this is the man that made
Yeah.
300.
I was about to say,
Man of
yeah.
Steel. There were so many penis and vaginas things in that movie.
He's just got a very specific fetish, and I think it involves slow motion.
Oh God! Oh
Off to a
God!
great start. Off to a
Oh,
great start. This film.
so yeah, we have. There's not a lot that's actually really explained in this film, and then there's a lot that's over-explained that is not really necessary to anything. So we have we have a mother world and a conquering empire that travels via space vaginas and penis.
I mean, at least hopefully they put on lube first.
I
But
was
then
gonna say-
again, if they're an empire,
Oh, do you
they
see the
don't
shape of
use
this
it.
penis, dude? They did not. That's bad. That is a very unfortunate penis.
They are raw dogging the universe.
You know, it was going to be a losing battle, no matter what, because establishing science fiction, space encompassing worlds and universes and stories is so hard to do in like a good way. We only gaslight ourselves into thinking Star Wars did it good because we're all nostalgic for it.
Oh, I'm not.
No,
I
I'm
say that Star Wars was boring. The
Yes.
original, yes.
Oh.
I was
Very
gonna say,
boring.
I was gonna say functional
Although-
at least.
It's functional. It doesn't mean that it's entertaining.
There is a way to sort of do that in a way that is like at least somewhat tasteful. Actually, this kind of reminds me. I have been watching lately Legends of the Galactic Heroes, this really old, very prolific anime that was made back in like the 80s, I'm pretty sure. All the old head otakus know about it. If the only things you know in anime are just like a bunch of shonen stuff, you probably don't. But it's pretty much prolific for being one of the best anime ever made, and it's about this galactic war against not space England and not space America.
Condoms up.
And
I
it's-
mean shields up. Sorry. Periodic P is just firing off. I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Oh my god. But yeah, it does a similar thing where it's pretty much every episode is just giving us the premise of like, okay, was the conflict about who is fighting who's in the middle. It's a little but it's sort of framed as though it's like an actual like a war story that is like much more of a periodical kind of. And I think it works for that, especially since it's a long-running show.
I personally would like to push back against the idea that it's particularly hard. I don't think it's any harder than establishing anything else. It's the fact that like filling it out is going to be the more difficult part because like I mean a lot of sci-fi takes huge shortcuts in that regard. That's where you get like the one biome planet, which I know to some degree is accurate, but like a lot of planets basically just being a monoculture is a really shorthand, and I'm like, I hate that. I hate that too.
I say it's harder with sci-fi stuff because like people also try to do it with like fantasy settings, but the difference is with sci-fi is the advanced technology means a lot of conflicts have easy solutions, like, oh, how do we travel to the doctors? Where with a fantasy story it's like we need to make medicine or whatever, but with a sci-fi story it's like we have med packs that heal anything instantly. So a lot of like extra elements need to be added on to give new conflicts.
I was gonna
into
say,
the story.
like, anyone that writes a med pack that heals everything instantly. I mean, in a video game, that you can hand wave things away in a video game. In an actual narrative story, where like that's plain.
That sounds like a bad idea.
No.
Yeah,
they did it. They did it in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh God,
and they
yeah,
made it
no,
work.
They did.
They did because it didn't work correctly because it short circuited something inside of Rocket. It was the whole inciting incident.
Also Gundam does this. Yeah, Gundam does this as well, really well.
Gundam has medical packs, or
no.
And also, okay, no. I'm gonna actually hold your feet to the fire. One of my biggest complaints about Witch from Mercury, which you will see once you finally watch the damn thing.
Okay, once I get to that.
The world building in Witch from Mercury, I still have no fucking clue where anything is in relation to one another. There is. Oh God, there's a spoiler that I want to drop right now, but I can't. There is a massive thing dropped at the end of the series. Like, we're talking the last 2 episodes. That is fucking huge in, like, not only scale, but also world-building implications. That comes out of fucking nowhere that no one has ever mentioned before. And it's just like, oh yeah, no, just hanging out over here in this quadrant of the fucking, solar system. And I'm like, what? Since when? Where is it? People are taking casual trips between massive space stations built into asteroids and the goddamned Earth, and I have no idea how long it takes to get between the two. Like, it seems to take hours. When I'm sitting here, like, that should logically take days unless they have faster than light. And if they had faster than light, that would solve so many other problems. It's like, it's one of the few things.
What I've been saying.
It's one of those things about Witch from Mercury that frustrates me. And it's like, okay, a good example of this. The first Mass Effect did a really good job establishing things because the faster than light travel was very limited to specific jump points. There was a regulation around it. There was a whole galaxy. Like, there's... Wait, this is what happens when you don't have a second season? Witch from Mercury had a second season!
I was about to say, didn't it have 2?
It had 2 seasons. The argument being that they got truncated from the 3 or 4 they ultimately wanted. But, like, we have no information on whether or not that's true. That's just supposition on my part. It feels like the second season is, like, 2 or 3 seasons just slammed into one. But yeah, no, like, there's a lot of world building in sci-fi. Like, the original Star Wars did it fine, where it was like it didn't need to. Okay, the Empire was big and evil and scary.
Yeah,
it didn't need to elaborate on that. And then you have the innocent farm boy who's dragged into adventure, and his parents are killed, and he meets this he and this
wise
old
mentor, man.
They go on an adventure. And they get a smart aleck pilot, and they go to rescue a princess. Like, it's set up very much like a traditional fantasy story, which is I can see where it could be boring in some, because it's very basic. It's not a very complicated story. It's not trying to do anything more than just get characters from point A to point B for these moments and make them fun along the way.
I wouldn't say it's boring at all. Honestly.
I don't know, yeah, but that's Twilight's opinion. I'm speaking. I'm reiterating her point. I'm not saying my own. I thought.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You don't agree? You don't agree with her?
I don't think it's the most complicated story, but I don't think it's boring.
I definitely think 4 is the worst one.
Okay, whoa, okay.
About...
That's a wide way. Okay, of the original trilogy or of all Star Wars?
of all of Star Wars. 4 is the worst one.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
Okay, we need a whole other stream just for this. So let's continue with Hack Schneider's bargain bin Star Wars.
Ryan Carson, I know it's his aunt and uncle. They are effectively his parents. The people that raised him from being a babe up to an adult. Yeah, no, totally aren't his parents in any way, shape, or form.
I said I know 9 is also. Yeah, I know 9 is second worst. but 4 is at least 9 I can get enjoyment out of with how bad it is. 4 is just boring
Okay,
bad.
but 1 is actually really bad.
No, it's not. Shut up.
What? You thought episode 4 was boring, but you're entertained by 1?
Yeah, who doesn't love Qui-Gon Jinn? Who doesn't love Baby
Wait.
Obi-Wan?
Wait a
What do you mean?
Okay.
This is pod racing.
Okay, all right. We are quickly derailing.
Racing.
We're all learning a lot about each other today.
Apparently.
Most of it bad.
The secret is I'm full of bad takes. I'm the person who likes Hypno. Are you surprised?
I don't think Hypno's that bad.
I know a lot of other people who are interested in Hypno, but not for probably the reasons you are.
No, that's the joke. That was the reason. I don't actually hate Hypno. I just know that the legendary legacy around him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are off topic. Let's talk more about Rebel Moon here.
Yeah,
so
several common plans.
We get this.
Was reach.
This I'm not even gonna pay too much attention to. I'm just gonna say feather through because it. Oh, we get a big spaceship pass by. We get the big titles.
Oh, we gotta get to the part where she like huffs the dirt.
Yeah.
What?
She like gets a fistful of dirt and just like breathes.
What?
Yeah, she does.
For what?
It's like the first thing
she
she
tracking?
does.
Okay,
Is she like
so
tracking something?
first things first.
No, she's farming.
Oh.
So this was pointed out. A lot of my points are probably going to be overlapping from another podcast that I did see on this a while ago. But one thing that I'll point out that I can't unsee now is A Child of Fire Part 1. It should be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Part 1,
Yeah.
A Child of Fire. Why, Zach? Why? You confuse everyone into thinking that this is part 1 of like part 1.
I bet it was because he didn't actually know how many parts he wanted.
A Child of Fire Part 1, A Child of Fire Part 2.
No, because the next one is Scargiver Part 2.
That's dumb.
What?
Yeah.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
Zachariah, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy?
That's why you would have the Part 1 at the bottom if there was a Child of Fire Part 2.
No.
I don't even know why it's called this. At no point is anyone referenced to as a Child of Fire in this.
I don't.
But you know what is referenced? The Scargiver. The Scargiver is referenced like 3 or 4 times in this.
I can't wait for the Child of Fire to be the most important thing in part 2, the Scargiver.
That would be amazing.
It's a subversion.
Like I so want to learn that just someone like got a clerical error wrong, mix up the 2 titles because it was stupidly labeled part 1, part 2, like after everything. And like that's why it's just so confusing. So yeah, we get this. We are introduced to our main character. We will refer to her as I don't know what to refer to her as, honestly. I can't remember her name.
Her name's Cora.
Oh, right, okay.
We'll refer to her as the Waterbender.
Katara over here.
Well, no wonder she hates it here. It's all sandy and
I was gonna
dirty.
say, no wonder she's a wet towel.
Oh my god! I got that vibe from what little I saw, but damn, it's that bad.
Her personality is, oh, I have an edgy background. Oh, I'm living a peaceful life here and I'll be peaceful.
Shit.
Oh no, my past has come back to haunt me. That's literally her entire character. That is it. Point A to point B. That's it. There's
Okay.
nothing. Literally,
Did
what you're about
they
to see.
do anything to entice any of that?
So she uncovers like this rock egg from the ground. Then
Okay.
she starts to feel up the dirt like she's about to have relations with it. And it's like weirdly sensual, and then she sniffs it, and it's like the first and only time we see her have like a positive emotion on her face.
Yeah. Well, there is
Oh,
a
Lord.
second time that there is an emotion on her face, and that's later on. But then the cameraman does his best to only show the back of her head, so you can't really see her smile that much.
Oh,
Before
that's
we move,
unfortunate.
look at his outfit. What is he wearing? Long pants, long jacket, a shirt
tunic.
that presumably has some sort of sleeved element. You know what she's wearing? Not a shirt.
And not
She's
a
not
shirt.
wearing
Oh,
a.
She's wearing a tank top and an overalls,
Yeah. Okay.
which I know you complained about like her just wearing just overalls, and then I saw this, I'm like, oh, she's a tank top under there. So I was a little
You lied to me, Critter. I thought that she was just wearing the overalls.
It was not a
How
lie.
dare-
I legitimately didn't remember.
How dare you, Critter, entice us with a near half-naked woman?
Like half the shots, you can't even see the tank top. I wasn't paying attention.
it might have been one of the few redeeming elements of this film.
Yeah, well, like it being so bad that like she only wears overalls, and it's like, why your nippies are
Okay.
gonna
Did you
bleed?
take that from us?
Okay, so brief moment here where we can immediately touch upon this. The composition in this film is ass.
Idiot.
Yes.
Horrible. Oh my god.
This looks like he's on a soundstage right now, which he probably is.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like not only like the set construction that looks completely artificial. It looks like there's like trucked in a bunch of dirt that day. There's nothing to indicate any kind of character or age to it. Like I get they tried to artificially age a lot of these houses, but they looked so well kept, so well built, and it's like it feels like these were built like a day ago for some like hipster in the Alps. Like
Also, are we in 2010s like guilty gear? Why is everything brown? Where's any of the colors?
okay, so
Because America has hated color since at least 1990, when we learned about the invention of like cool
Color
black
lenses.
leather.
well,
Yeah, color lenses.
Okay, I was gonna
I-
say
like,
like I blamed the Matrix for it, but the Matrix was good. So I mean, I don't know.
I watch
Blame
like
the Matrix.
I watch like Ice Fantasy, and I'm like, look at how saturated everything is. Wow.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
One thing that you make one mischaracterization. We're in sci-fi Norse Mexico. That is
Yeah, we're in
we're in
Norse Mexico.
That is the official name of this place. I don't care about any other
Norse.
name before.
What?
Thank you, Moopa, for pointing that out to us while during our live stream. But yeah, this guy who
Oh,
comes
nice.
up and what did we name him? Steven? We named him Steve.
Yeah,
We named
they
him
named
Steve.
He
don't
looks
care
like a
about his-
Steve.
We don't care about his name. His name doesn't matter. But he's Steve. And she is just
I have a
huffing
feeling
that
that's
dirt.
gonna be.
Look at her
I
huff.
have a feeling that's gonna be a running theme that characters' names aren't gonna matter very
No,
much.
I remember Tarek's name. I don't remember why I remember Tarek's name, but I remember it.
There's
No,
one
you're-
character whose name only gets said like once at the very end of the movie, and like one at a time when like they're talking about her, but no other points.
You're right, Zekitor. We did learn about neon lights, and then we got rid of them because you don't see neon lights that much anymore. Like half of them
No.
are taken down.
I love
They're
neon
going
lights.
away. They're going away.
Look at what they took from us.
Give me a shady back alley in Japan during a heavy rainstorm where you just see neon lights going all the way
Yes.
up the. Yes, give me that, please. It is such
Make it
a
like
mood.
like Las Vegas, just all of it, everywhere.
So atmospheric.
Also, you can immediately tell this guy has the sex feeling for her.
Yeah.
Even though their friendship is never going to really be explained. I don't know if they even like each other before this point.
Critter. You say that like any of the relationships are explained.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And no, his name isn't Gunner. His name isn't Gunner. It's Steven.
It's Steve.
It's the the Gunner's a slave name.
Jesus Christ. He's slave to Zach Snyder in this film.
I thought you.
I will say that, like, very small compliment to this film. Because I think that Cora is just the name that she made for herself to live on this planet. So the fact that she didn't react the first time that he called her name was a nice touch.
True. That does then raise the question, how long has she been here, though?
She said 2 years.
Yeah.
I think by then I get used to being called by my new name.
Yeah. What the fuck?
So it's like I see your point, but I also contest it.
No, like it just goes to show that they didn't really think of it very, very well. But there are still elements that accidentally got added in here that I like.
I should clarify. There's obviously a lot of people on a lot of projects like this, and I it shouldn't need to be said, but like there's a lot of good people that did good work on this. I'm not gonna try and bash them. I'm focused a lot on the writing and a lot of very specifically, like if I'm being vague, I'm trying to attribute there is apparently 1 or 2 people that are probably responsible that should be going towards.
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z says he's Steve from Hill House, a good show he's in. Okay, all right, that's good.
Haunting from Hill House?
Yes.
Hell yeah! Yeah! I love that!
Yeah, she's been out here tilling the land. Apparently the last rose, even though they're the closest to like the actual, you would think you would start like where she currently is, but
Well, no, because that's like painting your floor. You don't paint near the stairs. You go to a corner and then paint up to the stairs.
okay, fair enough. Look, I don't till, I don't paint.
I don't do
That's why you need. That's why you need us artists.
I am a typey boy. I don't do anything other than that.
Okay, Raymond, like
Did you ignore all the scuff from the start of this stream?
Exactly. I'm not even good at the thing I'm supposed to be doing. Why would I?
She does all this work by starting where she is now and going to the end, and then she has to like ruin it by like walking through it.
Dragging the horse all the way across.
I want to imagine that it's like for years she's actually been awful at this, but no one's brought it up because they're like feel pity for her. But like she just starts and then just goes in a big circle, just the entire time the same circle. It's like no, just let her be. We'll fix it later.
Yeah, but that's really
she
weird,
shows up to the
though.
village like, yes, I've farmed many times. Yes, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, and then the scene after this is like the weirdly hyper horny scene where everyone is like, we're all gonna have a lot of sex tonight.
Oh,
Isn't everyone ready for sex tonight?
What?
Red Carp 98. Is this
What?
movie trying to be the moon is a harsh mistress? I don't know what that is. But yeah, like he's basically like, oh, we're having a bunch of party up in the town hall. Okay.
Okay.
The compositing here in this shot isn't the worst it will be throughout this film. It's not awful here. It doesn't. These houses look like they're decently integrated, but take a note of how many houses we see here. All right, this is very important. What would you guys guess the size of this village to be?
I will. I think, like in terms of population.
Population.
At
300 people.
I was going to be
Zach
generous. I was gonna be generous and say probably 700, but then again, this is the same motherfucker who said that Superman run in Zod's battle in Metropolis, which was at most the size of New York City, and all that collateral damage that would clearly kill 10,000 people didn't kill anyone, except when it did in Batman v Superman. So,
Well, I'm just looking at like each of the houses Like we probably don't
Yeah.
see like all of the houses there, but if you're saying about 5 to 7 people per house, you can roughly estimate that roughly anywhere between 150 to 300 people might live in this village.
Right.
Yeah. So keep that in the back of your heads. It'll be relevant.
Yeah, at most is probably. Oh god, it's a surprise tool that will help us later.
So yeah,
Oh, no.
here's the horny scene. You can tell because of the meat. That is all. Okay. So yeah, now we see her like actually dressed normally, I suppose.
She's dressed in her Sunday best, which is a dress.
And this is her like father figure. I don't exactly like. She lives with this guy, right? And I don't understand their relationship exactly. He's kind of like an uncle figure.
I think she just needed somewhere to stay after she crashed here, and he was like, I'll let you stay.
I am. This man's being like, a hot young woman. Oh, diggity dog!
Oh my
I
god.
have a sheet.
Remember-
I have a freaking sheer sheet that'll divide the room up to give you room.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Lord.
changing. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Remember the question from earlier of how do I start my story? Has any of this hooked anyone? Like, we watch a girl farm for a little bit, some dude talks to her, and now it's like, hey, do you want to date one of the other random people of this town? It's like, none of this has hooked me so far.
Okay, I was gonna say,
No.
Yeah.
counterpoint. We did also have a exposition dump at the very beginning of this that I think you could probably just cut the fuck out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like you could
could.
really get all the exposition through her.
There's another story that Kaiser had kind of abandoned that we were going through and doing a reading of that we thought the
right.
entire yeah. What happened to that, Kaiser? You just
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You haven't brought it up.
I'm bringing it up now.
Okay.
Anyway, we thought that the entire first chapter and a half probably could have been cut entirely,
Dude,
because it was just so worthless.
I think we said like about 3 of them could have been cut. It was that terrible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It is a
Kevin,
is
Kelvin Schubert, the space vagina didn't hook any of you. Look, the only thing that space vagina was hooking was the front of that fucking penis ship.
and judging from the size, it probably has been hooked too much, let's be honest.
All right, so we get this horny scene where this guy is like, "Oh, you want to go hang out with Chadley McChatterson over there?" And it's just
Which
like,
made me think Chadley was gonna be more of a character.
yeah,
Right?
and then he wasn't. He just, I don't know if he gets shown again after the scene.
Well, there's a lot of characters here that you think would be important, like that one soldier guy who just doesn't appear anymore in the film after his scene is done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna actually.
That sucks.
Because I want to actually play longer bits. I'm gonna put up our shield and show off our new logo.
the copyright shield.
Properties. Nope. Where's the filters? I gotta turn down the opacity a little bit because it's a little strong right now.
The whole stream is just Phoenix muttering to himself about technology, and then Kaiser muttering the subtitles out loud.
Okay.
But yeah, here we go. So this is the head of the community, the chief or whatever. The gods of the harvest demand tribute, and I'm not entirely sure. I guess this is a harvest season, so there's a celebration, I suppose. This really doesn't come back to add to anything. It's just to establish the village and that everyone's having a good time. And
This line.
the loud sounds of pleasure that
So
summon the
funny.
seedlings. Oh no, this man knows 100% what he's doing. Like, so let's let me love night and for the harvest. Like, look, if my mayor came out and said, "All right, everyone start banging," I'd be like, I don't know if I'm in the mood now.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Okay, so jumping ahead a little bit, this is in regards to a scene that we see later that I managed to see, which is that this is a whole conflict later on in the movie about like, oh, we have this amount of resources that we stockpile for ourselves, but we don't give to the Empire for whatever reason.
Mhm.
And you would think that porking and making more kids like would just drain a lot more of that shit. Like what?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I suppose the counterpoint is the more kids you have long-term more population to produce more food, but
Well, you also have I mean it is resource heavy cuz yeah, you do have more population to feed more people to produce more food, but you also have to like wait until they're at minimum 5 years old for them to do anything. Also,
I just noticed that the copyright screen is the new Team JYCT logo.
yes, it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
The most difficult part of that was the T, because I had to make the digital effect. I could not find
Yeah.
that worked for me. I should try and make that function. But it looks good. I'm happy it looks good.
Also, what they probably use in order to not make kids is probably use the stomach of that snow elk in order to make condoms like they did back in the old days.
Well, that raises some questions.
We've gone too far. We're in the middle.
Yeah, wait, what the?
What do you mean we've gone too far? We talked about the penis ships, for God's sakes, and raising condoms. I mean, shields. I mean, how is talking about the way that old-timey people made fucking condoms and it's somehow out of the realm?
I didn't know. I'm just saying, but like in the universe of the story, I'm like,
Oh.
I can't even keep up with the fantasy things they're trying to
Okay,
establish.
that is a good question.
I can't
Yeah.
incorporate real world lore into it too.
Yeah.
No, that was just me making a joke. Like, yes, it is something that historically happened. I don't think that they'll do that in this movie.
But yeah, no. So we'll get into like the technology problems once we actually get out of this village, which will probably be halfway
Sweet.
through the film. Because there's questions about the level of technology and the reason they're a fucking medieval village in a sci-fi setting like
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
They're the only one too.
But you can tell that
What?
apparently she is the horny, or I guess the lonely at the very least, while everyone else is getting laid. She's like sharing looks between Steve and Chad, and like just I guess not choosing to go with either of them. And then she comes back to be with the old man's house, which is like my immediate reaction was like, "Hey, you come back? You want to bang?"
Oh my god!
Because that's what they were told to do.
I understand the idea is to like show the town at its like happiest. So then when the not empire rolls in and makes it all sad, we understand what we might lose.
Okay.
But come on.
We could have started on her setting up like I don't know decorations for the celebration. That would have been more interesting and probably more colorful. Like you could have had that instead of her plowing dirt. Like because
Also,
we can learn they're farmers later. It's not super vital to that.
Also, it would have helped if she looked happy at all at any point in time to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can make the excuse that expression that she made right before this scene cut could be like an expression of contentment, but yeah,
no.
it's
I mean, she
so
could just-
few and far between.
Fair. She could just have resting bitch face.
Yeah.
It just makes
Yes.
sense. But I don't know. I don't get the vibes that this woman is very happy. So they have lights on. They have electronic lights and everything. But yet they're using like, wood fire stoves. Okay, all right, maybe they're Amish.
They're turn of the 19th century people.
Yeah, those types of lights totally 19th century.
Well, look,
Tube lights.
like I told you, when
Kaiser.
Kaiser died again. No.
Oh no!
Kaiser!
You do have like
Sorry.
when you have offshoots of people going away from main groups of people, you have a reduction in technology. That's been a thing throughout history, actually.
Sorry if it gets a little. There we go. Nope. Gotta do this.
Yeah, sorry about that. My connection wigged out.
Perfectly fine.
How dare you?
Kaiser always causing mayhem.
There are two kinds of people.
What do you mean? I have no
Naughty, naughty
control over this.
Kaiser.
Just let's see. What is he trying to say? I'm trying to remember. That would be your last step to becoming a full member of this. Basically, shag a dude and you'll become part of the community permanently. And that's basically what this guy is trying to explain to her.
Yeah.
I guess technically
Right,
says get
right.
married, but tell you, this is home
Yeah.
now. All right, so there are two directions. Either this guy knows who she is and came with her, because I'm not entirely sure. In which case, this doesn't make sense, because A, it feels like he's already integrated into the community finally and knows the ins and outs and is giving her this advice. But if he's an outsider, then it feels really weird to kind of force her position.
Very invasive, yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose it'd be nicer than him saying, "Hey, get the fuck out of my house. You're not paying rent." But she doesn't seem like she's not paying rent. I want to be true.
she's
Also,
worth
Josh
it.
Thomas knew.
Here
You're
we
right.
are.
You're right. I did get hit by Raymond's semblance. That's why I cut off.
These curtains do jack shit, and I don't know what they're here for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no.
It's like, are you changing behind there, lady? I hope not. Unless
His
you're really
bed is
comfortable with
facing
it.
that direction too. He's laying in it. He faces that direction.
Was this a part of the contract to live here? Michael
Christ.
Santa Maria says, the reason for pseudo-medieval is they're ripping off 40K when they're not ripping off Star Wars. Yes, I was going to say, we forgot to get back to our game of naming the influences. The first one is most definitely Warhammer 40K. The second one is the Vivitch.
The Vivitch, so good.
I think I heard of Vivitch before.
It's
but I
a
never
very experimental
see
horror
anything about
film.
it.
It's
Okay.
the witch is what it's actually called. It's just the W, the font they go with, makes it look like just two V's next to each
I
other.
think that's like
Oh yeah, it's that thing.
It's got Black Phillip in it. The goat. Yeah.
Among all the legitimately among some of the best horror movie villains.
Okay.
To truly love, be loved, oh yeah, this is where she exposits all about like, I don't know if I'm capable of either. It's like, all right, edgelord.
Yeah.
Raymond, I don't think you layered us properly.
Oh, this is the part I came in. This is the part where I came in.
I don't think I layered this properly.
No, never mind. The moment I said it, it looked like it got fixed.
Oh, is it because the time bar keeps popping in and off? Is that maybe why?
No, I meant us on the stream.
Oh,
Like, but
We're like
I,
about 15 seconds behind in comparison to like us.
huh.
Mhm.
But yeah, the very idea of love and family was beaten out of her. Taught that love is weakness, which already, fucking hate that trope.
It's very
I mean,
You want to know why most people in the Nazis' army fought World War II? It wasn't because they hated the people that were being persecuted and killed during World War II. It's because they loved people at home. They loved their homeland and country. They were not actively participating in the horrors necessarily. There were plenty that did, but I'm saying like the people on the front lines were fighting for their homeland. The people in the Confederate Army, very maligned. They were fighting for their homeland. There's a lot of things that love can do to fuel people in wartime. Love is a very powerful motivator, and it can be used to make people do very bad fucking things, even against their own self-interest. Like, it is such a powerful motivator, and the fact that we already established that this empire, the fucking empire in Star Wars had never ever touched on the fucking concept of love because it was unnecessary. It's like, they're a totalitarian regime. There's any other routes to take with it, but the idea they would ever eliminate love? What the fuck?
It's also such a boring trope. We've done it 1 billion times. We've seen 1,000 characters who's like, no, I can't. Bleh. It's like, what? This
Which-
just makes your character a Debbie Downer the whole time.
Which, I mean, here's the thing. I think what can make that work and much more enjoyable to focus on is not necessarily the character themselves, it's the people around them. Because the whole point of that kind of character is to try to break down their walls, for lack of a better term, in this case, especially given the context of this conversation.
No.
But
I'm
yeah.
not complaining about the character having this problem, or even the idea that maybe she was taught it by a bad commander.
Yeah,
It's the idea that apparently
it
this
is overused.
it's representing the entirety of the empire in this one instance, and it's like,
Oh, I see what you're talking about. That's why you brought up the Nazi thing. Yeah,
yes, yes. So the idea that you have an entire military that's not powered by what? What is powering this military in terms of morale?
yeah.
Because like,
What are they? That was the thing I was thinking. I was like, what are they doing? Even like, what's their goals?
Yeah.
Why do they do any of this?
Yeah, it's like if you don't
Yeah.
love anything, you don't want anything.
Well,
Envy and greed are
Right.
like off the table because you don't love like material possessions either.
And presumably, this isn't a case where you're fighting against another central power, like it is in Legend of the Galactic Heroes with the space, not Germany. I mean, not England. Sorry. So, yeah. Why would they do that?
Well,
There's
like
no one. Yeah.
with what Ramilia pointed out is that she's not even telling the truth here, because as we learn later on in the movie, she was encouraged to have a lover or somebody to look
my
after
fucking
on the
God, you're
battlefield.
right.
What?
Oh my God, you're fucking
What?
right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
What the fuck, Zach?
What? Zachariah.
You know what?
Zachalicious,
Was he
what are you
leaning on the
doing?
fact that that's like 2 hours from now and everyone's going to fucking forget?
You know what? That explains, if that is his strategy, that explains a lot of things.
I didn't forget. I didn't hear this part because I was able to pay more attention after I muted.
Well, deafened, yeah.
Yeah, muted and deafened. It just muted everybody.
Know how that will ever change.
Yeah. Yep, so sad.
Which this conversation would work if this
honey.
old guy knows her.
Yeah,
but
I
knew her before she came to the village. But like, as is, it's so confusing.
It's weird.
Mhm.
It's
So
like, and
confusing.
he doesn't become relevant at all, even later on. Like, I think this is his last important scene. There's a lot of character.
When he tells her to go, I
Oh.
guess. I think he tells her about the warrior guy they're looking for. But other than that,
yeah,
no,
now-
even then, I don't think it was him. Actually,
Now
I think
she's-
she just knew about him.
Now she's getting changed, and he's just right there. Just yep. Oh, he's leaning back. He's getting settled in for a good show.
But he crossed.
So yeah,
his
here we
line,
are.
so-
Next day. It is still fucking miserable out. Like
It's my other favorite scene. Them throwing seeds in slow motion.
Yeah,
yeah, you will.
Yeah.
dude, so slow mo seed.
Yeah. This is what slow motion was invented for.
I was it. We were talking about it, and we were taking estimates. How much faster would this film be if you remove the slow motion?
If we took out the slow mo,
And I think we landed on roughly about 20 minutes faster. We think that we'd be able to cut 20 minutes of screen time.
Wow.
hmm Okay.
That's
Also,
what I get.
look at her. Look at her with her tank top. Can you see the tank top?
It's
no.
cream skin.
Yes.
well, barely.
You know what?
Now that
You
now
know
that
what?
now
Actually,
that
I'm
you've said
gonna-
it,
I'm
I
gonna-
can actually kind of see it now.
I'm going to bat defense for Critter here, because I didn't realize. I thought the tank top was white. No, it's cream colored. It's skin colored.
Uh-huh.
I think Zach maybe wanted her to be wearing this, but it was too uncomfortable, and the actress maybe
Probably.
complained. Like someone came in with a lick of sense and said, "No, we can't have this." It's like you're not
And
gonna
then
get.
look at the other girl in the scene. She's wearing a reasonable outfit. Look at this. She's wearing like a whole ass 2 layers and everything. Why are you in just overalls?
The guys back there, they're wearing like fucking suspenders and shit. And
Yep.
then the Covenant come to Glass Reach.
I wish.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that. We'll get to that bullshit.
Yeah.
And everything changed when Xeon
Yeah.
attacked.
And then she sees this, the grain falls, seeing all of that, and everyone's gonna angry at her because like you're just suddenly gonna have a whole bunch of like wheat springing up in one place, and they're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In fact, half of them
Well,
won't
if-
even grow properly.
If the not birds don't get them first.
Oh, have you
Right.
seen a fucking bird in this film yet?
That's a good question.
Ice bird. It's called like a Quizlorp or something. Oh, that's so
Quizlorp.
creative.
There's probably
Why would they have why would they have scarecrows then if they didn't have not birds?
for the skinwalkers.
I hated that sentence because it made sense.
But yeah,
Because
no,
remember there was one at the end with the stag lord.
right, the stag. Oh god, the stag lord.
The stag lord has
she-
conquered
She
North
rings
Mexico.
the emergency bell, and they see that the Empire has come, and so they get a whole town meeting together discussing what to do. And I'll make it short. This guy is arguing. Steve is arguing, hey, we should just deal with them fine, and use our leverage to actually what leverage we have to sell them at a nice higher rate. Like they'll buy it at a higher rate, and they're like, no, but if they ever find out that we actually sold grain to the rebels, not roll credits yet. There's no.
Like
no
gas.
news. If they find out about that, we'll all be killed. It's like, oh, but I don't know what the argument is for not just selling the
Wait.
grain to them.
I think.
Yeah, it's
Well, I think it's like, hey, they'll be so focused on what we are giving them that they won't even find out anyways because we'll be indispensable to them.
Yeah, that's the argument. Which,
yeah. The mayor chief man guy, it makes the dumb decision, and he's like, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
lie to them and say we can't do anything. And it's like that was incredibly stupid.
That was really dumb. Yeah.
and-
I
They
think
were even like
kind of stupid, but I think Steve was a little bit more intelligent with that. But unfortunately, he's also got the big dumb because he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna sit quiet and have our leader like lie for like 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna tell them the complete opposite of what they
yeah,
just
Yeah.
heard.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, as if he thought that things would go better that way.
Also-
yeah, also the chief man was like, no, we won't give you our grains. And then the Empire people are like, we'll give you like 3 times more gold and also like better equipment so you can make even more stuff. And I'm like, that's an amazing deal.
Yeah.
Get
Maybe
that
you should
deal.
stop. Maybe you should stop selling to the rebels and keep giving it to these guys.
Yeah, like free market principles, guys. It's very basic shit. Like,
Yeah.
I bet even at some point they wouldn't even fucking mind. It'd just be like, they had the better rate at one
Yeah,
point.
neutral. I don't know what this is placement is.
That's also another
But is
question.
this like a neutral?
Is
Is
it a
this
neu-
like side 7 or Fezon,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, it's a neutral like market planet place in the greater Empire
Yeah,
sphere?
we don't know. I
or is
don't
this
know. Is it-
already?
Is it owned by
Yeah.
them? Is it like it's so confusing because like, do they have jurisdiction over you? In which case, yeah, probably shouldn't mention you worked with the rebels. But if they don't,
Right.
and you're allowed to just market with whoever you want, and they've just come to
Okay.
accomplish it,
I want to
Well-
start my own. I want to start my own counter, which is called Gundam Did It Better, because in the
Yeah.
original Gundam, there are like a few of the sides, mainly side 8, which is on the side of Zeon, the main bad guys, and then there are a couple of what was it? Colonies on the side of the Earth Federation, and of course the Earth. Surprise, surprise. And then there's side 7, where the story begins, where a main character is from, which is a neutral nation. And they were not allowed to have any mobile suit development on either side in that nation. It's why it was such a big deal that the Earth Federation smuggled the Gundam project and the White Base battleship in there in order to fix it up and ready their forces.
yeah.
But this shit, and we find that out in like the first 5 minutes. We have no idea what the fuck this planet is all about and what their place is in all this.
The one thing that I don't understand about this whole conflict is that clearly Steve is like, yeah, we want a lot of money. And it's like, but what do you need the money for? If you're mostly a society that, like, sustains itself.
We're literally just... You don't understand, we're literally just peasant farmers in the Middle Ages, and somehow we are in a sci-fi setting. I want a car! Why? I want to go...
a TV!
I want a TV!
I want to microwave my food!
I want a basic cable package. But no, we have streaming now. It's basically just cable again.
Like, I think that maybe he would have had more of a point if, like, the reason why they work like this is because they are poor, and all of the supplies that they brought with them to the planet long ago had been destroyed for some reason. Like, maybe they crash landed on the planet when they first arrived there.
Maybe it was a big storm that destroyed the equipment.
And they just didn't have enough money to resupply themselves with the resources that they needed to be able to work the land better. So, like, that would have been more understandable.
God, you know what? That actually would have been, I'm just, like, in my head thinking how you would restart this film. Open on them decorating for a festival celebration, but the mood is kind of dour a little bit. People are excited for this celebration, but this is in the wake of their machines getting wrecked by a storm. So people are kind of despondent about what the future of the village is going to look like, but they need to have this festival to keep the mood up and keep everything going. And then the next day, you have them tilling in the fields, doing the rough work, and then the Empire comes in and they get this spark of hope in a few of them. Like, oh, if we get on their good side, we can get shit that we need to keep ourselves afloat.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much more efficient that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could do that.
And then, you know, our wet towel comes in and is basically like, the Empire is just going to take and take and take, and you're never going to get anything else from them.
They just take and they take and they take and they keep going anyway.
And it's kind of weird, too, because, yes, she is technically proven right later on, but that's only after it was revealed that the leader was lying to them, so they said, well, fuck you, we're not gonna give you all those things that we told you.
10 to 1.
They could have been lying.
If they had just agreed from the outset to the deal,
I
think everything would have been fine.
Especially when they have, like, their surplus anyways. So they could have just given a part of that and a part of what they were planning on giving to them.
We'll get there.
And they just...
There are numbers involved in this.
Oh, no.
You know, because, like, I think that the reason why this went south in the first place was because Korra was trying to warn them at the beginning, so that made the leader wary of them. So therefore, he lied, and therefore his death, when Steve eventually revealed their lie, was kind of Korra's fault.
All right, this is an aesthetic thing, but am I the only one that feels fucking weird about this waterfall? Like, it looks
I didn't even see it.
I didn't even see that. Is that what? Oh my god. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
not
now
a
I see.
waterfall.
That mountain is fucking from the digital world where everything. No, because, like, there's no snow anywhere else except for on that particular mountain. Like, why?
And then there's there's another one off to the right. Actually, I didn't realize that.
Is the waterfall moving or is it frozen?
It's moving. It's all moving.
Okay.
It does not look like it was moving.
It doesn't look real. Like the stepping nature.
What?
Of it feels...
This computer-generated world doesn't look real?
Look, okay, Critter.
Look,
you know what I
the
mean.
sarcasm against the film is fine, but against me, that hurts.
You can make water that looks very realistic.
It's not even the water; it's the shape of the actual waterfall. Like, it's like 3
Yeah.
consecutive steps. Like, what naturally formed that? It's weird.
I mean, like, you assume that it was naturally made. Who knows? Maybe the local farm kids just got bored, so their hobby is just fucking with the mountain waterfall.
I'll just fuck with the main water supply of our village. No harm done.
Yeah, it's sweet.
We want to make it look aesthetically pleasing because there's nothing else about this world that looks nice.
So we take like
I will say, talking about the shape of a waterfall that's on screen for like 3 seconds is next level pedantry.
Yeah, it is massive nitpicker territory.
I was just trying to bring it up as an anecdote. It spun out into like this conversation.
Well, like, there's nothing else interesting to talk about in this film.
But
Let's be honest
but
here.
now we have the Nazis.
The
Okay, that take like
The
a
space
full minute
Nazis.
to land their fucking spacecraft. Like, Jesus
Uh.
Christ, you guys, they had so many shots of it. But of course,
Yep.
they do this kind of sickening thing that's like really annoying where they're very affable and likable at the very get-go. And then later they're going to have a brutal turn into villainy. It's
Yeah, like I
it's done
said,
to death at
it
this
feels like Inglorious Bastards, but bad, really, really bad.
Also, our main villain here is, I think his name is Noble. I'm just going to
Noble.
call him Cillian Murphy, or knockoff Cillian Murphy for the rest
Yeah.
of us. That's what he is.
I'm also
Ajax.
I might be like jaded because I've seen so much Star Wars crap, but I am so tired of this aesthetic of the poor country like farmhand versus the black and white super military hyper elite. And it's like, I've seen this a billion times. It's so boring. This mixing of genres has bored me.
What would be great is if it was flipped. Like, I mean, people have been wanting for the longest goddamn time, and no one has ever given us it. Why don't we ever get a campaign from the Empire's point of view in like a video game or in a movie or in a TV show? Give us like, and I think that's why a lot of people like Andor, is that Andor kind of gives like a balanced view. Like, there's a lot of like middle managers and shit that are just trying to keep order and peace in their neighborhoods, that like are just wrapped up in the larger politics of the world. It's like,
When you said, "Oh, well, we never got a story that was like this that was flipped," and I was like, "Oh, so the Empire are the low tech ones, and they're going to war and subjugating people."
That could totally.
The
That's just
Farmer
Sonic the
Empire.
Hedgehog. That's just Sonic
wow.
the Hedgehog.
but yeah, no, the idea that like we haven't gotten a point of view. Going to push back here. Those uniforms are more Soviet KGB. Okay, fair enough. But you know, communism and fascism, they're sibling societies. Like,
Yeah, we determined that this wasn't really the Nazi uniform, so
Yeah,
they at least did that.
Yeah.
So I will use my Russian accent for them for the rest of this video. Then yes,
Oh my
No.
but yeah, no. The
You're
only
good.
difference,
You're good.
remember, the only
You're gonna
difference
have
between
to stream that
fascism and communism
Communism.
is that fascism is the stealth route where you stab everyone in the back along the way, and communism is knocking the door down with a rocket launcher.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
opposite.
Communism is Assassin's Creed, and fascism is Doom. Okay.
Flip that.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nazis are stealthy. But yeah, no. So yeah, they show up. They're amenable, and Sindri, our beloved chief here, lies through his fucking teeth this entire time about not having enough. There's this awkward hug that I actually, it's like one of the best moments in the film because it's just like genuine.
It really is.
Yeah, I laughed so hard when I saw this. I was like, dude, is he like, he looked like he was about to rub his balls.
Like it holds uncomfortably long, and
It's like Zach saw the hug between Draco Malfoy and Voldemort, and he's like, I can do that.
Yeah,
I can
and
make
you
it
know
even
what?
more weird.
I was gonna say, you know what? He succeeded. This is the
did.
one point where he succeeded.
Yeah, because this could have been very interesting, honestly.
Like I said,
they actually did that.
this is a problem that a lot of shows and stories have with fascistic or Soviet or whatever elements. Like when they want to portray a tyrannical bad guy, you have to
Yeah.
remember there are a lot of people that are benefiting and living under the tyranny, or else the tyranny would literally fall apart. And a lot of the
Yeah.
stories are about
Yes.
rebels, but like you gotta have to actually portray the guys that are benefiting and having a good time, and how this tyranny might have come into power through some of its beneficial things. maybe there's a welfare program that's very enticing for people that like gets them off the streets, get their bellies fed, get them into a military campaign. It's like, wait, what was that last part? You're off the street and your bellies are full. It's like it's like you got to show these things because that's reality. Also, holy shit, Nick Bartless, hello, funny Birdman, have some money.
No.
Jesus
Bro!
Christ, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Hero.
Thank you.
Champion.
Absolute MVP of the stream right here, dog. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. But make sure you're good, okay?
Yeah,
Make sure
as
you're all
always,
right.
take care of yourselves before you take care of us, guys. But yeah, so we all walk up to the longhouse. You can, if you look at their like armor and shit, this is 100% Warhammer 40k bullshit.
Okay.
There's this guy. He will be important for exactly one scene later.
Yeah. No, 2 scenes.
2
He
scenes.
had 2 important scenes.
Right, and then literally nothing after that.
Yeah. It's just like, why? Why
I thought
wasn't
he was
a main
going to be.
character?
I thought he was going to be so important. I thought he was going to be
Yeah.
going
I
on
thought she was
the
gonna be
adventure with
important.
everyone.
I thought she was going to be the child on fire, but no.
Yeah, I guess not.
The only
Too
fire
bad. I
going
was
on
promised-
is the fire in everyone's pants over her.
I was promised a burning child, and I didn't get it.
What a way to word that.
No, that's usually
Hey.
Raymond's thing.
Yeah, it's usually my thing, man. Don't take my shtick.
Okay, remember, I'm a mecha fan. There's a lot of burning children in those, okay?
Oh, I see. You're just jaded to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they for some reason stop in this workshop to talk when they could just keep walking to the lodge. But I think Zach was like, "It'll be boring if we just go straight to the lodge." So
Yeah, especially because we
Yeah.
spent like a third of the movie at the lodge by this point.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so they talk about it, and like, again, it's mentioned that they're searching for a revolutionary band hiding in this system, which they want to find and bring to justice. That never comes back
I'm
up again.
pissed. We could have done something cool. So we're walking,
I
he
think-
shows up, and it's
I
all
think-
sunny, and he hugs, and then we're walking and we enter this workshop area. And as he starts talking about like trying to find the bad guys, and you start to get the hint of like how this guy's actually not good, have him walk
Yeah.
into the shadows or something. Have him like, let's go into like a blacksmith area, have him walk next to a kiln, so only like darkness with the glow of the embers illuminates his face. Just something creative with the visuals that isn't just this.
Also, a new
Mhm.
Chronosphere art of us ignoring
Oh.
the
Oh.
senior detectives and talking about Sailor Moon and stuff.
Yeah. Our first episode back from Volume 9, and to start us off are the junior detective. Yeah, I don't care.
Sailor Moon.
Also, I think that he's referencing the blood axes in this moment.
Maybe? I don't know. Like, it's weird. I
But
don't.
they're the only rebel group in this story, really.
I guess. Okay, so another comparison to Star Wars. Surprise, surprise. We didn't
Uh-huh.
really need to know where everything was in relevance to one another. We just knew that the characters knew how to get there. The story was actually built in a way that our characters had to go from one place to another, but we didn't need to know like a map or really have an idea of anything. But in this, it kind of feels like we're just kind of going in a big circle, but we don't know where anything is in relation to one another. And we kind of need to figure out where our fucking characters are going or why. Because like, they
Yeah.
don't really elaborate very well on this.
A way we could have done the story. Like, we could have had this town already working for the Empire here, like already doing the deal that we're discussing currently,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
don't like it because the Empire takes the majority of their resources, and so their town can't grow stronger. But they have no other options because at least they're staying alive at this point.
And this
have-
conversation could have been like them, the Empire coming in and being like, we need more.
I was gonna
Yeah.
I was like have them like roll and be like, we've discovered that there's like a
Oh,
like
that's-
mithril running through the
Right.
core of your planet. We need to destroy everything, and you are
Or-
a stepping stone to get there. And
or
have it
better
be something
yet-
like that.
or better yet, like, and actually to add on to that, actually, we can have it to where, like, okay, maybe if we give them this rebel that is hiding in our village, if we give them up, they might change their mind.
Yeah.
And that can be the inciting conflict of the movie.
George J says, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I am doing very well. I hope everyone else is doing well."
Thank
as
you.
well."
Yeah, we're doing good. Having a great gay old time making fun of Hack Schneider.
Oh, so it is the Blood Axes. Okay. They're Devra and Darian. Their capture is inevitable. However, it's taken longer than anticipated, and we found ourselves.
I guess those are like the rebel leaders? Question mark? Is that what they are?
Kinda.
Army runs on stomach. So supply partnership. Basically, it's like
You can see Steve over here getting ready to make a bad decision.
yeah.
You know, it's really interesting because I have a story concept that is very similar to this. Except I think that even in concept, because I purposefully haven't really done anything with it, because, like, holy shit, I have so many other stories that I have to get done first.
Oh my god, his eyes twinkle here. I just realized it. I don't know if you noticed it. Watch his left eye when it cuts to the next shot.
Oh, wait.
Pause. And... What? Come on, cut to the next shot. Okay, watch his right ear. Twinkle.
Oh, yeah.
God, it's the one spark of life in this film.
But anyway, what I was saying is, like, I think that I've done this story better because, like, part of the premise of the inciting incident of the story is that the main character is going to get involved in this war because she didn't know that she was actually feeding the war horses of this war. And so now she is a political pawn in this war between the fairies.
You know what's crazy? Supposedly, Zach Snyder thought of this story back in 2012.
Wow.
He's had so
What?
much time to figure this out.
Oh my god. You can't be serious.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
also, doesn't this take place in the same universe as, like, Army of the Dead? His other film?
What?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's a zombie film
How?
it's a zombie heist film all set in Las Vegas. It's like, what the fuck?
Okay, so that's just going along with my hypothesis that the mother planet is just Earth.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That makes sense. That's why he's not naming it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, more of this guy lying through his teeth about how fertile the land
Oh, that's
is.
what I always assumed. It was Earth the entire time, but whatever.
Which, I mean, that would make sense of this Warhammer 40k.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory for this was he went to Disney to make a Star Wars film and they shot him down. Then he went to Gamers Workshop to make a Warhammer film and they also shot him down. And then he's just like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And then just made a Star Wars Warhammer film.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it was planned from the beginning. Exactly.
as all things are.
Yeah, all great
Regardless-
writers are.
Regardless if they actually are or not.
Yep.
So yeah, this guy basically singles out Steve and is like, oh, you're the guy in charge of crops? Well, obviously I need someone better than the chief to explain to me exactly how wrong I am. And then Steve is like, well, you're not actually wrong, sir. We have some surplus that we can give away. And Cillian Murphy's immediate reaction to learning this is to be like, immediately flip the evil switch.
If you
Yeah.
keep calling him Cillian Murphy, I am going to accidentally start calling him Cillian Murphy.
Good!
And Cillian Murphy deserves better.
He does.
He's a better actor.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's bad actors in this film necessarily.
Okay.
I just think that...
All right, let's
compromise.
compromise. Let's call him Billion.
Billion Murphy. So yeah, our good old friend Billion goes over to these weird priest dudes that like wear these silly hats, which they're
It
fun to
never
look
gets
at.
explained.
It never gets explained. It's Warhammer 40k shit. Look it up in the codex.
Okay.
It's somewhere in there. It probably gives them like a +1 to hit like arachnids at range. And then it looks like, oh no, he's gonna go kill Steve for being an asshole and being unloyal and shit.
Oh no, I knew that he was gonna turn around.
Well, yeah, no,
me too.
I'm just
that's
pointing
the
out the fake
obvious
out.
thing. Yeah.
We can't kill hot boy, quote unquote hot boy. Who's gonna go on the adventures?
And then the Admiral turns around and just boom, one clean clock over the head. I mean, it's a decent. Oh yeah, I forgot he did that.
Yeah, I don't think there's just one clean clock.
Yeah, no.
I completely forgot he followed up and did the.
And then his wife person just was an idiot and is just like, I'm going to die with my husband. Like,
Yeah,
no, I'm not going to finish that
with
sentence.
lightsaber.
Dog. And I'm like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah, and they just casually whip out the fucking lightsaber, by the way. There's no, like...
Yeah.
Which might be the smart choice, honestly. Make it kind of a more mundane object in this society as opposed to an actual lightsaber. Yeah, I switched to harvest. Don't...
Oh no, I fucked up.
What?
I had too many money signs in my eyeballs. I couldn't see that this was a blatantly evil guy.
So, where is he? In 10 weeks, I shall return, and shall have 10,000 bushel prepared for my ship. We barely produced 12,000 bushels. We will starve to death. Okay. Let's talk logistics here, because I did a little bit of math on this.
Oh, God.
Looking up the official...
Jeez.
Yep. No, because this is where writers should be doing their fucking research on this shit.
Yep.
We're just nerding it up. Yep.
And it was nice and easy because the U.S. Agricultural Society has a whole like breakdown of wheat production in the U.S.
Oh, sweet.
So 1 bushel of wheat makes roughly 90 loaves of whole wheat bread, which equals 720 slices of bread, which equals 360 sandwiches. So that's like I would say a sandwich for use of bread is like the lowest end you would have of bread consumption. Like that was like the lowest necessity.
Yeah,
as opposed to like maybe
one
one loaf per soldier.
Mm-hmm.
The average American eats 193 sandwiches per year, which it would probably be more if you really need these supplies. It would probably be more like 1 a day. But we'll say 193 to lowball it. So 10,000 bushels equal 3,600,000 sandwiches equals 18,653 people fed per a year rounded up. Because I'm being generous. That ship probably contains more than 18,000 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if it's a big galactic warship, those things at least have to have about like maybe 5,000 people, give or take, maybe 3 if we're generous.
I said 18,000.
Oh, 18,000. Oh, right, yeah.
It feeds 18,000.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Like, the thing is, like,
they have to have like, they have to have about like 20,000 people on that ship, maybe 30,000 at the very least.
Fun fact: aircraft carriers, which are way smaller than that fucking thing, have I want to say 4,000 to 8,000 people living on them at a time. Something ludicrous like that. They are ridiculous. Hey, you look it up for me. I want to get an exact number.
Population. Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Like, they could have also...
They have... Oh, go ahead, Twilight. I was going to quickly say they have 4,539 personnel.
Okay. Yeah. So, times that
by 10. We could have quickly fixed this by saying, like, yeah, not all planets are good for agriculture, so we found this one that isn't the best, but it's good enough. Maybe that's going to be one of the main planets that supply the entire empire with food. And when they come, they're like, you're now mainly going to feed the army. And they're like, well, what about the rest of the people in the society? Like, what are they going to eat? And they're like, too fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then the flip side of this, they're being left with roughly 2,000 bushels for themselves. They barely produce 12,000. Remember, they're taking 10,000. So the village is being left with 2,000. That means they have 720,000 sandwiches or 3,731 people fed for a year rounded up.
There's a lot less
A
than
minute.
3,000 people in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
So-
we were saying that before. We were
So-
like 300.
Either what they produce is not enough for the massive threat that is asking for it, or they are producing more than enough to have a 10,000 bushel surplus.
Mm-hmm.
There was no research done on this fucking film in terms
None.
of logistics.
Obviously. You expect Zack Snyder to sit there and Google, what does bread do? He just picked a grain. Something more fanciful looking that the robot can stand in at the end of the movie than like carrot or corn stalks. It wouldn't be nearly as dramatic if it was just like potato leaves.
Anyway, that was my little bit of math ranting. So yeah, this entire plot is functionally non-functional from the very beginning. And for the record, this is the inciting incident of the film, and we are 22 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dog, that's insane.
Even then, is it? Because I would argue there's another part that's like the extra inciting incident.
Oh,
which
is
what
that what
causes
the
her
extended
to.
edition is going to be?
Well, it's when she
What?
leaves after handling these dudes, and it's like I need to go and get the people to help protect this village. It's like, is that the inciting incident?
It's a good question. And the fact of the matter is, you can have your inciting incident later into the story if what comes before it is in any way good, like in actually setting things up and establishing things. But this one has barely established jack shit.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. This is better establishment than the rest of the film ever gets to.
Yeah,
Like, this is
good
the
lord.
best it gets. It is literally just a constant downward spiral from here. So yeah, a bunch of soldiers are left behind to tend to things, including this robot that gets brought out by that one guy we pointed out earlier that looks kind of like a less shitty Ezra Miller.
I mean, it's not hard to be a less shitty Ezra Miller.
Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, we have this
I was about to say.
robot.
The
show
ro-
up. Yes.
The robot's name is Jimmy. They don't say that ever, but if you look at any of the merch, they call him Jimmy.
Oh my god, I just realized his designation, the first letters are JC.
Judge Critter.
No!
It's me.
That's
Oh,
funny. But no. It's fucking Zack Snyder, so take a guess.
It's Jesus.
Jesus!
Yeah.
I am Jesus. I am Jesus.
He's also voiced by Anthony Hopkins.
He is.
Oh,
A
is it?
waste of Anthony.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
Yeah, complete waste.
He's the Stag Lord, of course.
He's not the
be
Stag Lord
Giants
yet.
fast.
He's
No, not yet. He'll get there though.
He is.
We're
Well,
spending
like,
a lot of time. Spending a lot of time with Jimmy and this one soldier. Do you think there'll be important characters in this movie?
No.
No.
Then we have the soldiers mistreating this. I don't even know this girl's name. She's Prim.
Susie.
This
Yeah,
is-
what is her name?
This is just fucking Prim, all right? This is just Prim from the Hunger Games right here. Like, that's all she is, just this... I mean, I don't know how much Prim is used as a plot device, but she just reminds me of her, because this is, like... That's probably another thing that was ripping off the Hunger Games. Like, I think
Yeah.
this village aesthetic is, like, Hunger Games-esque.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, at least we know Prim's name.
True. And she's like a motivating factor for the main character. Oh my god,
Yeah.
no, this totally is, because like the older sibling character, quote unquote, steps in to protect her, which would be our main character, Wet Towel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, it would kind of be interesting if this was sort of an Anastasia story and she was the little girl and
We'll get
she
there.
just
We'll
got
get to that.
Yeah.
Because I think you're not
Sorry.
wrong. Well, yeah, they harass her for like a good how many minutes? Let me see.
Too many minutes because it's Zach Snyder's finish.
Time code on this is 23:17, and it stops at 24. It's like it seems it's 1 minute, but it seems like fucking forever.
Yeah.
And then you have this asshole who just like he kind of hates the robot Jimmy for some reason. So,
For whatever, yeah, this
fucking
priceless
shoots it.
freaking robot, warrior robot or whatever.
this starts the trend of the fucking lasers in this world being goddamned useless.
Yeah.
It bounces right off. It scares a couple of the weird corn thing. I don't know what they're called. They've
Not horses.
Not horses.
And not horses, yeah.
It's weird because it seems like the commanding officer is like kind of weirded out by how weird this guy, like how brazen this guy is. But we'll learn that they're both complete assholes. Like I don't know why you needed either of them. You could roll them into one character.
Honestly, yeah.
Then you have not Ezra Miller stepping in and being like, hey, don't do that. He's kind of like our property. Also, holy shit, dude, are you okay? You want to go talk to a shrink, maybe? You seem to have some anger issues. Also,
Just a bit.
your magazine clip is not properly fastened. Look at that. Look at that. The fucking magazine is sliding out of the gun. What the fuck? Prop department, hello?
How do we make villains feel like villains? Make them unreasonable in every degree.
Yeah, like how unreasonable is this when you just have a guy who is just like, yeah, if anyone tries to stop me from being the most piece of shit that has ever shitted, I'm just gonna like threaten to kill them. It's like, how many soldiers would you have left if you just killed all of them that like gave you a little bit of lip?
Yeah.
It is insane. Like, this is such a dumb way of showcasing that, like, oh man, maybe there are some people. Like, it makes me wonder how the fuck this guy managed to get into the military. And then I remembered that you said, Raymond, while we were watching this, he signed up.
So
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but how in the world would this be able to run if we're supposed to understand that most of these guys
really
are like
weird
this?
to me how much they try to make this commander guy seem not like nice, but like kind of reasonable in comparison. And then he turns out to be just the exact same kind of monster as the crazy guy later. Like this entire scene is all about him being like, dude, you didn't need to shoot the robot. Private, get inside. I'll cover, whatever. And then like not helping the robot up, but like clean yourself off, man. Like it's weird. Like this goes nowhere. It literally ends in an attempted SA scene.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of time, a real lot of time towards characterizing people who either die instantly
or vanish,
like all those soldier dudes, or are irrelevant for the majority of this movie.
Like this robot. Like, why are we focusing so much on him? And then Prim coming to meet him and hang out with her water bucket, which I don't know why she's carrying it to the. Oh, she's trying to help him, I guess. Okay.
I can't tell how old this girl is supposed to be.
Yeah, okay. Her clothes, posture, and handling in this film ring to me of like, this girl is only just barely like enter puberty. She is like 13, 14, but she is an adult woman. She's like an 18 to 20-year-old playing the character.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to treat her. I'll say, the robot effects look fucking great. Like, the movement and everything, I actually think is really good.
Yeah, I will give them that. I guess they knew. I think they really thought Jimmy was going to be, like, the biggest thing for this film. Because looking at, like, if you go to the store and you find any Rebel Moon, like, items anywhere, Jimmy's all over it. He is the poster child for it. And I don't understand why he's not in the movie.
I don't understand it necessarily because, like, he's not, like, he's cool, kinda, but he's not very, like, unique in his design. It's like he's just a humanoid robot with, like, a couple of eyes. And he can blush. And we figured out that all those evil robots that you see in movies and like the ones that turn evil after they get infected by a virus, like Penny with the red eyes, It's the blush mechanic they put in the robots. That's the reason they have the red LEDs.
Oh yeah, he's gonna like info dump like a whole like 10 minutes worth of lore here, isn't he?
Yeah, he like just talks about the princess who apparently died.
I think the princess is supposed to be the child of fire, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Oh yeah, then there's this weird scene. I don't know if this ever
and
amounts to anything for the rest of the movie.
And like he gets attached to her because she's like, kind of like, I guess, like the princess.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, for what? In what way? Like she doesn't even do anything.
It should have been our main character, because she's barely gotten to do anything so far, other than being near the action.
Literally, how many minutes into the movie we're in?
God, can you imagine
30?
if you had the main character like
we're
hanging
in,
out
like-
on the bridge in this scene, overhearing this, and thinking about her time as the personal guard of the princess that he's discussing? Like, maybe we could draw some connections there, get some character dynamics flowing, have her maybe disagree on some points of the story. Like, she wasn't all she was cracked up to be. And it's like have Prim here be like, wait, what do you mean by that? What, do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nothing. Go back to being bland.
Dude, we're about like 30 minutes into this movie or whatever, and the main character has barely done anything.
She
And
sure
we're
did
focusing
sniff
all
dirt
this-
and throw seeds.
Yeah. And oh, don't forget the hammer. The way she swung that hammer, boys.
Oh,
And you
that
know,
hammer swing was so good.
Zach made her do that too many times because he wanted to get all of those angles. She was pissed by the end of it.
Oh, dude, and that just makes me remember how Kurosawa mastered the fucking 3-camera technique back in his day, and people still haven't gotten it fucking down. It's like, come on.
Oh, did you not know that Zach Snyder said he was directly inspired by Kurosawa to make this movie?
No,
my
really? The fact is the blatant ripoff of the Seven Samurai didn't tip me off to that. By the way, add another thing to the inspiration board, but that'll come up later.
I don't know if it's inspiration or just ripping off, but
That's why I put inspiration in the biggest quotes you can.
There's a very thin line between the two, you see?
So yeah, everyone's angry at Steve for getting Sindri and his wife killed. Though, to be fair, it was kind of on Sindri's wife for getting herself killed.
Syndria.
To be fair, when you see your husband just like slain, beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
They ourselves invaluable. They won't be able to kill us. Oh yeah, that worked out so well.
Not when they
before.
mentioned that they could just have automated drones do all the work for you guys. Remember when that was mentioned? And that shouldn't terrify the fuck out of you guys. Like, we're literally dealing with an obsolescence crisis right now. There was a huge scare a few years ago about fucking, truck drivers being out of a job soon. Like, there is a massive crisis about automation hitting a critical point. And you could have maybe threaded some of that commentary into this, but you didn't. You didn't.
That's what I mean. At the beginning when I said sci-fi worlds are hard to do, it's hard to have stories where it's like these kind of settings in a sci-fi world where we go to like a planet and everything is roboticized, and it's like, well, why isn't this planet? Why are any of these conflicts happening?
Well, but then that's where you get things like politics. You might have some governments that might be like, for the betterment of our society, we're not going to have automation in these ways because we think it's going to rob us of our like human spirit type deal. Like there are ways to
or
like,
it threatens
cultural,
social
that
security and all that shit. Yeah,
that's kind of one of the things
actually.
That we're kind of exploring in the Mega Man Digimon roleplay, because all the characters are from like modern day and they go into like 1,000 years in the future where everything is moderated, and some of the characters have a problem with it because it's like, well, what about humans doing things for themselves? Like, you're just getting all these robots doing everything for you and you treat them like cattle.
I was gonna make a point of this. Frickin', I think is it not Taiwan? It's Singapore. In Singapore, you will never find a piece of gum on the street. Anywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ever. Because there is a criminal fine and arrest. You can be jailed for littering effectively in Singapore. It's one of the cleanest countries in the planet. And while I don't necessarily agree with that kind of hard line, it certainly results in an interesting difference in cultures when you show up there and their streets are fucking pristine.
What about spitting? It's not technically littering.
What you're saying is,
that might be
what you're
there.
saying is, we need a gum tax.
Get rid of all gum. Got it.
That's one of the things that I don't like about up here is that there's a lot of people that like spit, and then especially in winter, it's gross.
Oh, I hate that. I will actually barf. I will throw up.
Like,
Same.
if you're gonna spit in the grass, like find some grass. So it camouflages it and everything. You don't have to see it.
No, it's like on the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's
Ew. Just don't be a heathen. Keep your fluids to yourself.
Okay. The exception is if you live on Arrakis and you're trying to give great respect. That's the exception. Thank you for the gift of your water. Vessi says, it'll all be explained in the 6-hour cut, I swear. God.
Oh my lord.
Can't
No.
wait.
All right, I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, sweet.
We spend so long in this town, and
We
our
did.
starting village is so asinine.
It's so bad. It's so very bad. And again, at this point, we barely have a good understanding of the greater conflict that I'm guessing is supposed to make up the rest of this movie. You know, the rebel in the rebel moon, right? Because I understand that I am comparing this to Legend of Galactic Heroes again. If you guys, most of you guys probably haven't watched it, go do so. I know it's about 110 episodes. Watch the original one. Don't watch the remake. I heard that one's pretty bad. But I'm 12 episodes in, and you get a really good understanding of like both. It's basically mainly just space politics, the show, and it does a really good job at it with the minimal amount of directing that they have at the time. It's very enthralling because you get basically both sides of this whole thing. One is essentially a monarchy, and the other one is not America, basically. And
Oh,
the
I
way
do love
that they,
that. I love it when there's
Yeah.
like different like political systems in
Yeah.
in fantasy or sci-fi stories like that. That's
Yeah.
it's
fun.
it's really good, and it's made even better because it's deuteragonous. So you have we have essentially two main characters and one from both sides of this conflict. Actually, before I get into that, Izanagi says for $25. So the base plot of Star Wars, some aesthetics from 40K, and anything else? Because
Okay,
oh god,
no,
I
it's
might
actually
blow a
the
metaphorical gasket.
It's the base plot of Seven Samurai. The
Lord,
overarching, the mechanical underpinnings of 40K, and the overarching like feel of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's really jumbled up together. But to finish my point real quickly, actually, I just left off of an episode of this anime where we're following the main character on the Alliance or Not America side, Yang Wen Lee, who's a vice admiral, who kind of sort of hates his job because he actually wanted to be a teacher before getting into the military because he had to because he was poor. And the education was free. Anyways, at like episode 9, he accomplished a great military feat that, in his hope, was supposed to bring the war to a faster close and get a diplomatic solution. But we spent like episode 12 in like a meeting between the leaders of this alliance, and basically trying to debate whether or not to move forward with an all-out offensive against the Galactic Empire, the Golden Dynasty. And you have all of these different people from different professions giving their piece about why or why not this is a bad idea. Like, you have the guy on the economic side saying that, hey, if we move forward with this, our dollars will literally be worthless. We have to judge them by weight rather than their face value. And given how technologically advanced these guys are, the fact that this is still a problem for them says a lot about how bad this and long drawn out this war actually is. This war has been going on for 140 years when this story began. It's that crazy. And you can glean so much just from that. But with this, so far, I have no idea what the scaling is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back talking about Rebel Moon. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought it off there,
Don't worry,
Beth. Sorry.
I was busy talking about a better show than this. A better sci-fi
Raymond just
series.
glazes over whenever Kaiser goes on to a story about something better.
Well, I'm trying to generate like criticisms here for Rebel Moon. I can't. My brain's getting distracted.
It's hard because there's a lot of
There's a lot of
it's a lot of
nothing.
repeating the same things.
Yeah, I was gonna
like this is lame.
We are
this
now
is boring.
We are now officially in the 30-minute mark, and I'm pretty sure in A New Hope we'd be what, heading towards Alderaan or at the Death Star for the first time, something like that.
I'm pretty sure we were at the Death Star at this point.
Oh man. But yeah, no, so they're like, okay, we're just gonna capitulate, and she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge, and this guy's like, why? I'm just I didn't know it was starting early. I remember what he fucking says.
That did not
Become a part of us.
come apart.
People need you. This place is already lost. So he's trying to encourage her to fight for them.
and now
As
this
if
is
he
the
knew that
scene.
she was a fighter. Like, oh yeah, and then there's Zach Snyder trying to pull a Reki Kawahara. Okay.
So yeah, basically this is where all the soldiers except for not Ezra Miller prove to be the most awful people on the planet. Quite literally, as I understand it.
This is also a terrible fight scene. Zach Snyder.
You say that like any of these are good fight scenes.
Yeah, I was about to say, since when has this guy ever made a good fight scene?
He fundamentally doesn't understand the point of slow motion. He uses it at the dumbest parts. And I've seen 300. He seemed to have an idea of what to do to slow down to make it look cooler during 300. What happened here? What's wrong?
But yeah, so the one good guy among the military is like, hey guys, maybe not do that, and then they hold him down like they're gonna start doing things to him later. So at the very least, Zach Snyder, equal opportunity when it comes down to horrible things happening to people. And then the commander comes out and is just like, yeah, no, gloves off. I'm a fucking awful person, and I'm gonna have my way with this girl, because no one's gonna stay. Oh, don't.
I don't know, man.
Like, look, I'm not like saying you can't use sexual assault as part of a story, but you gotta be careful and a little more tasteful with it, or otherwise go so cartoony that it's not even recognizable as realistic anymore. Like there are directions to take. This falls in that uncanny valley of it's too realistic to be a cartoon. It's too cartoony to be realistic. It's not.
I mean, the main issue with SA in terms of story is that it's used so often. Like it is the main go-to to saying like, oh, this character is a bad person. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know that there are other things that characters can do to show that they're assholes than sexually assaulting a person, right?
Well, it's always for shock value too.
Yeah.
Like, this is a soldier. These are we already have a whole thing going on about like the bad side of a war. We could have done something to further establish the concepts of this stupid war, but instead we're doing this because shock value.
Oh, you know what? You know what you could have done? establish a
Mhm.
dynamic between the girl and one of the soldiers where maybe it was sort of flirty or whatever, and she was kind of like maybe awkward around him, but like to kind of appease him,
Mhm.
she flirts back a little bit. Like there are dynamics you could take, but the idea is like he's there's some signals shared, but not all of them, and he's misreading the ones that aren't firing off. So he's assuming
Right.
that they're getting along, and like then he goes to seal the deal, and she's not giving it, and he starts to force her. Like you could understand where like
There's so many
there's
ways that you could do
yeah
this.
there's a
Like,
whole way to approach that and still show that he's an awful person, but
In-
yeah
I think the bigger issue is that just a lot of people that do this, a lot of writers that do this, and Sora Online is the go-to offender, for lack of a better term, when it comes to this sort of thing, which is that a lot of it does not have a purpose outside, fucking, shock value, because in something like, say, Blue-Eyed Samurai, which is really good, you watch it if you haven't. There are a lot of themes regarding, around sex and sexual violence in that show. It's a lot. It comes up a lot throughout the show, but it's not gratuitous, and most importantly, it's not just there for the shock value, because it's supposed to give you an idea of how really bad the social dynamics were between men and women back in Edo, Japan. That's
Yeah.
like the whole
Mhm.
purpose of it, and these themes actually get explored through the characters that are there, especially the main character, especially her. um it's supposed to give us an understanding that of not only that things are bad, but how bad things are, and how much things have degenerated, societally speaking. That's why you do that in your story. But if you're just gonna do something like this to just have an excuse for a bad fight scene, it's like, dog, what the
Mhm.
fuck?
yeah
These aren't even any of the like main villain. We have yet to really do
No.
anything with the main villain of
yeah
the story
Noble
so
is
far.
not involved in
Yeah.
this at all. Sorry, Billy and
No.
Murphy. Not- okay,
Billion
so
Murphy.
here's another thing that happens that always pisses me off in anything: characters with ranged weapons walking closer
Yeah.
to people
Yeah.
with melee implements. This is
Him,
this is the
him,
reason I
Ruby.
Dude, Ruby, yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say Ruby
No,
does this all
I'm
the
going to
fucking
invoke
time.
something that's going to piss a lot of people off because I've only seen one fight scene. I think it's one of the last fight scenes in the film, but it pissed me off. John Wick 2. There is.
I also didn't like it.
I've only seen that fight scene. I've not heard good things about the later John Wick films. I've only seen the first one. The first one was fantastic. The second one, I saw one fight scene, the one that's in a museum somewhere, and it's awful. Literally people running out just to die. No one is being smart. And what was so impressive about the first John Wick is that fighters in that were actually intelligent. They actually would take cover. They would be mindful not to get shot. They would try to run for cover. Like they would actually try to be intelligent people, and when they weren't, it was often in the middle of a fray. So when I see this, when I see people running out of cover to not immediately neutralize a threat with fucking
Yeah.
paintball guns, as you will learn later about these guns, it's awful. Like,
Oh. Also, new Chronosphere art.
oh, new Chronosphere art. Actually, has Dederex been around? I haven't seen him in
No, I
chat.
haven't
No, I have
seen
not
him.
seen
No,
him.
I don't think so.
I think he said last stream that he was going to be pretty busy, so
Oh, okay.
I hope he's doing all right.
I miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Celtic Rage level math. The the bushel, the bread, the number doesn't make sense. I love it.
And you just
I
have
love
the
it.
scene from Yakuza just slams down his face on the table and walks the fuck out.
So yeah, more gratuitous slow-mo here. God, I wonder if I sped this up properly, whether or not I get copyright struck for it. But yeah, so she hands over her axe, but then she does a stupid thing where, like,
Dude, he
Okay.
should have instantly shot her as soon as she
his
pulled.
his finger was on the trigger. You fire. And,
Also, you know what?
what?
Also, you know what? I know this sounds really bad, but I feel like this would have been a much better scene if they were harassing the main character. Because think about it,
100%.
we set up earlier on in this movie that like, okay, she's the only one in the village, and probably because of her past or whatever, doesn't really get along well with the other villagers, doesn't pork anyone, whatever the fuck. And here comes these guys who sees her, who is much more, you know, I mean, number one, she's of drinking age at the very least, and number two, you know, she is way more like conventionally attractive. And so this is a way for them to just try to assert dominance over her, not knowing that she ain't one to fuck with. Like, this is a great, that would have been a basic way to do this sort of thing, and they didn't do it.
But think
Yeah,
of it
no.
this way. He probably wrote this scene thinking this was going to be a male hero.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh,
that would make a lot of sense.
interesting. I hadn't considered whether or not he would retroactively change the gender of the main character, but he might have been.
There's been a couple of movies that I know of where they decided to change a character's gender. There was a movie from the 80s that had a main character who was originally going to be a big burly male veteran from the war, until this actress came up and she's like, "Hey, I want this part. Give me this part. I really want it really badly." And they're like, "Okay." So they made the veteran a woman.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna say, she downs this first guy. Immediately, this guy should have stepped back and raised his rifle.
Yeah.
But no, but okay. But now everyone else in the room with rifles and pistols, as we will see, there are multiple, should be raising them and firing on her, because there is a relatively clear line of sight between her and basically them. You could just kill her, right? Kill her, just kill her, right? You can kill her, shoot, kill. No, and
Not just shoot her, dude.
Nope.
You
now
you
she has a
can
gun.
dude, take that one moment. Remember that one moment in my Bumblebee video where I just take like a solid minute to talk about why Yang should have like crippled Adam during the Volume 6 fight. It's this, but on freaking overdrive.
Okay.
Just shoot her. Just
So
shoot her.
watch. This guy pauses before lunging in.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
wait for your mark. And he uses slow-mo with the scene, and it just kind of highlights how buffoonish this choreography is.
Yeah, it makes it worse. I don't know why people aren't trying to shoot her from a distance. That is the main advantage of firearms. They allow you to shoot people from very far away. This is
do the pew pews. You
fucking
do the
Spoonie
pew pews
was ranting
already.
about this 10 years ago with his Final Fantasy reviews. Give
Oh
that
my
fucker
God.
a gun. Give that fucker a gun.
Give that fucker a gun.
Also, what are you two doing back there? Just holding on to not Ezra Miller? Just kill
Oh
him
my-
and then join the
Yeah.
fight. You don't care.
Also, dude, the dude in the back has had a clear shot at her
Multiple
for like the
times.
past 5 slow-mo minutes. Like, what the fuck? Why hasn't he done anything?
Also, this angle, there is no fucking way you are holding that position. That man has all the fucking leverage in the world. I don't care if you're a bodybuilder, all right? You're not holding that. All he has to do is reach forward and arc his arm down, and you're dead. Like, but she manages to shoot him in the face somehow anyway.
Yep.
And this guy turns traitor, and that guy dies and gets shot. He actually tried to do it from a range, and then he ran forward after he got shot off his hands instead of trying to reclaim his rifle. And then he dies, so one asshole is dead. And we get one cool moment in this film where they're holding this guy at gunpoint, and he says he's going to he's going to take the girl with him if he dies or whatever. So the robot walks in, and he tries to order the robot to shoot him. The robot's holding this gun sideways. And because the robot apparently feels like this girl is similar to the princess, he turns coat and he shoots from this position, which is cool.
It is
for a
cool.
robot. It's like
Yeah.
one of the other cool things in this film.
Yep.
What about glorious melee combat? Come up with a better excuse for glorious melee combat.
Yeah, what the hell?
There's a million things could have happened.
Like, if you have a character that specializes in melee combat and they don't take any kind of firearm, it has to be on them to engineer scenarios where they can utilize their melee combat and not have to utilize a firearm. It is on
Yeah,
them.
maybe actually pull a freaking sneak attack. I don't know.
Be
Also, I'm
sneaky.
That was
surprised.
cool.
One thing I was thinking, because this is obviously like Star Wars Light, I was amazed there's no magic. Because Star Wars has the Force, and that's the way the Jedi are able to, like,
There is.
stand a chance against all the guns around them, generally.
There is magic.
I was amazed there's no magic in this world for her to use.
Oh, for the main character to use. Okay.
Yes.
'Cause the princess has it.
Mhm.
Although, maybe she has magic, and her magic is slow-mo.
Yeah.
But yeah, they save Prim, and then this guy is like his last scene, so you can say goodbye to him.
What time is it?
What?
Yeah,
Like-
it's the
like-
last scene.
Yes.
It's,
Oh my
38
God.
minutes, and we're still waiting to do anything.
Yeah. Also, like, right as, like, then the entire village, collectively, comes down to investigate what the fuck they just heard. And it's like, what the
Yep.
fuck? Oh, hey, Chad, I forgot you were here.
Good job, guys.
Oh, hey, old man. So yeah, it's so bad. Oh wait, he's trying to get she's cold. But I like that they have everyone jolt at the gunshot, but now we have to fight. So they're like, oh,
And by we, I mean just me.
wait,
Since I'm the only one who's gonna do something.
thought it was lost.
And she has a gun. She's apparently had this gun the whole time. He found it, and he didn't give it to her. And she's like, OMG, my gun. This would have been very handy, like, at any point in time.
Man, I sure like my Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Philip Schwartz says they need to take some advice from Yang. What the? Who needs to take some advice from Yang?
Nobody needs to take
What?
advice from Yang.
No,
awful
not
at it,
even
too.
close.
In their world, firearms are fucking useless. You are right. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I feel so deeply for these two. Where will you go? There's a general named Titus. So we get our first establishment that there's this Titus general, and he turned against the mother world, so he's out on a planet. Oh, what is it?
That's the main thing they're doing for the majority of this movie is finding Titus. That's
Yep.
their main goal.
Main goal is to find Titus. And then also, not only find Titus, but then meet the Blood Axes. Those are their two goals, all right? We have 2 waypoints, everyone. 2 waypoints. You got to get to
Right.
Titus, got to get to the Blood Axes.
All right,
We will quickly
sweet.
learn that this is a campaign written by Bethesda where you will take every side quest before actually traveling to the main one. One minute, I'm going to close my blinds. It's getting dark out. But I'm not closing my goddamn window because Jesus Christ. Oh, it's hot out. You know, I was talking about this last night in VC when I was doing things, and Twilight was here for it, but it's
Yep.
not really the heat that I hate. I actually enjoy the warmth of the heat. It's very pleasant. It's the sweating. It's
Sure.
just the sweating. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that sucks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the thing that sucks the most.
But yeah, so our friend Steve is like, okay, well, I know a guy that can take us to the Blood Axes. And they're like, okay, all right, we have a plan. Let's go.
We have our not Luke and our not Han Solo now.
Ooh.
Yes. Well, no, this is more like our weird Obi-Wan.
I guess.
Because the Han Solo is coming up with Kai. Who I'm surprised I remember
Yes.
his name.
Well, because his name is so easy.
True. Also, Kai is an asshole. If anyone gets that
Yeah.
reference, thank you for buying my book. So yeah, they go out, and this shot is fine compositionally, but then you get this shot,
Mhm.
which looks like it's bad green screen. Like, I can see where the fucking green screen is.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Is that you?
Oh god, yeah, that's a perfect equivalence. Oh, and it's just awful through this entire scene, and then we get more exposition dump on her, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, she does this like 3 times throughout the movie, where she'll like talk to only Steve. Even though later they'll have like their whole squad of companions, she only talks to Steve about major backstory elements or about her character. And it's not a conversation. Like, he doesn't talk back with her about any of it. He just sits there and listens like a robot as she drones out her personal diary to him. And I'm like, this is not how you have it a conversation. Have the others be involved.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah.
They never asked for anything. Oh, that's right. Her backstory is fucking weird. Where, like...
Thanos and Gamora.
General named Ballas. Yeah, this. Oh my god. Yeah, I made that connection. You are 100% right. This is Thanos and Gamora right here.
Yep.
So she's trying to get away from all the panic. She has a little gun in her hands, and that's when a soldier comes running up named. This is the General Belisarius, right? Face to face with Belisarius, the General, who is not weird John Bernthal. In some shots he looks more like John Bernthal than not.
I was gonna say he looks absolutely nothing like that man.
I think it's the cold, piercing eyes. I think that's it. They both have like kind of like shark's eyes, honestly.
Have you seen The Bear?
I have not.
You should. John Bernthal's in it. Season 2, there's a great episode with Bob Odenkirk and John Bernthal. Oh, really good. It's the Thanksgiving episode.
So Belisarius is like, I'm going to now have you try to shoot me because I don't know why.
What?
He's like, I
What?
guess
Because he has a fetish.
Look
Which
at
one?
how
it just reminds
Him
me
or
of,
Zack Snyder?
it just reminds me that there was one of the Darwin Awards.
Both of them.
Was this freaking couple that for some reason they got their rocks off by having an unloaded double-barreled shotgun pressed up against the guy's balls, and it would be like, oh, pull the trigger, honey, pull the trigger, and like that would somehow be like stimulating for the both of them. Except
Did you ever watch-
one time the double-barreled shotgun was unfortunately loaded, and that's why he's one of the few examples of a living Darwin Award.
Have you ever seen Beef?
No.
Beef.
You should. These things have won awards, guys. These were like
my
the
lord.
big Emmy Award winners. They're both
it's really
very
weird.
good.
It's really weird too because this is apparently a fetish, and I know that because my friend would write some stories with this specific fetish in it of just like guns and like being tied up and having like a gun, yeah, pressed to them.
The danger fetish, absolutely.
Yeah, the danger fetish.
It's a whole thing. I don't quite understand it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like the last thing I'm thinking about. Oh my god, this guy, this actor.
I told you his face.
No,
His
I remember.
face makes it
I
a
remember.
fetish.
It's great. It's just like this actor is really selling it.
Yes.
it's just like holding her.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna make it. I was gonna make
what?
it. Was it
I
good for you
don't-
too? Joke, but I'm like, oh, that's right. She's a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what is even Bizarre killer.
If I were
What?
her, I would not try.
Yeah, I wouldn't let him hold on to me like that, but you know.
Yeah, I would be kind of broken. And then, like, we learn more about her indoctrination. They were her only family. No softness, only the hard.
Like I
lessons
said,
of war.
Thanos and Gamora. He's just ripping off everything.
Yep. Did he go on to
I
become
hope
the
somebody's
emperor?
keeping track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did go on to become the emperor, sort of.
All right, this guy is just Will Ferrell. Tell me I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, the compositioning looks so fake here.
It
Yeah.
is horrible.
It's like you can clearly tell
Wakanda
everything around
forever!
it is so fake. And like then we get like, oh, here we are.
Oh yeah, these guys are supposed to be unfeeling. We get love beaten out of them. Yeah, and then all the soldiers are hugging each other.
I was gonna
Wait
say
a minute.
like,
Bro, what the fuck?
Isn't the guy that you just said Will Ferrell looking like? Isn't that
the king?
what's his name? That he's in Saw. He's Wesley in Princess Bride. What's his name?
Oh, Ewan. Oh fuck! I'm blanking on his name.
Gregor.
Harry
never mind.
Ells.
Carol Ells. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know
that's
why.
him.
That's Carol. What?
Yeah, that is. Yep. I remember. I remember because I found that out after I'd watched the movie the first time, and I was like, "What? No way."
I need to see this filmography for myself. I must lay my eyes upon it and be angry. So I love him as an actor.
Isn't he amazing?
Oh no, he is. Oh,
Oh shoot.
he is the
Hey.
king.
Why do all the good ones get the bad movies?
I mean, they somehow got frickin' Anthony Hopkins.
It makes me actually think maybe, and it might just be copium. Maybe the extended cut will actually be really good. Because I imagine that was the cut that was sold to these actors. And there's so many good actors here.
Well, I mean, there's also the
Maybe.
fact that like you have like Adam Sandler that just keeps getting really high quality talent because effectively going to a movie shoot with him is just an extended vacation. That's why Adam Sandler films are often so like shitty, is they're literally just the lowest of effort, basically an excuse to go hang out with people.
Ah.
Uncut Gems and Spaceman being like the only exceptions.
So yeah, here we go. They were expected to have lovers, even though they were expected not to have love.
Yeah, how does that work?
Don't
Make that
don't
make
think
sense.
about
You
it.
use the word lover exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
I like this transition.
Oh my!
I
that
like
cut.
that. I actually like that cut a lot.
Me too. But I can understand.
Yeah.
I see a lot of meme potential with it, and it cuts that for me. I'm sorry.
I might have to turn that into a meme somehow, yeah. But then she has no helmet. Grab a helmet. There's one right there. Grab a helmet. Yeah, and then like we get like an extended shot of her like being angry, rushing for. So you know what's really cool about this? She loved this man so much that when he died, she got really angry at the people that killed him and then ran forward to kill them in brutal victory. It's almost as if love has a place in warfare.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean,
See,
it's
this was
really
the
fucking
point
stupid.
in the middle of her backstory where I was like, weren't we going somewhere? Aren't we going to find a guy? Or
Yeah. Why are we wasting time here? What the fuck?
It already took like 38 minutes for her to leave on the quest. And now we're interrupting for another 10 minutes. She doesn't actually start getting to new and interesting places for her main plot until like the hour mark.
God, I keep wanting to just let this run because there's so much nothing going on, but I can't remember that's not how copyright judges things.
Yeah.
So yeah, she raises the flag, the fucking
Sing, Zion!
she raises the flag on the
Zion!
Reichstag. That's what she's doing. And he's just like, okay, well that's a story. And that's it, really. So on the same within walking distance for these two people, there is a settlement that is vaguely Japanese themed. We went from Norse to Japan within the same, like there is no common culture here on this ground. It's fucking weird.
Also, their town, all humanoids, all very regular humans. This town, a bunch of crazy aliens. And I'm like, oh, is there aliens in this story?
Yeah. And then they see this crate, which transforms, it's a fucking mimic like chair thing that eats people. And like they take note of that. They see this. They see this thing. They know what
They
it
do
looks
see
like.
it.
They also see the fucking urukai outside. Which
This is very much, hey, I'm looking for Gandalf.
yeah, count the Lord of the Rings on here now too. Also, the blood axes. This is great. Blood axes give you any way to contact them, and he's like, no. They said they were sheltered on a planet called Sharon, protected by a king named Levitica.
Sharon.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounded like a precise location and a fucking name you could go to contact them. Why did we need the middleman?
Also, why the hood? No one's looking for you. No one cares.
Well, it's raining.
Well, I mean, if she's a former officer, then like,
Mask. No, not hood. Wear a mask.
Yeah.
Well, it's raining. That's although she comes in completely dry, so I did not notice that. Also, hello everyone. Welcome to the Star Wars Cantina. Also, it took us forever to figure this out. This is a ripoff of fucking Metroid. Not only
It
of the
didn't take forever for me
Yeah.
to figure it out. I'm the one that pointed it out.
well, because you thought it looked
Okay.
like the actual Metroids, but like the what we came to is it's a fusion it's a fusion of the Metroids with the central units from Metroid Dread. It's like a weird choice of combination, but it makes sense that it would be on his mind at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lady from Tron, so track that up.
yep.
Another Urukai, and this man who also has his hood up because he is equally incognito.
Who's paying attention to all the references so far? Who's keeping track?
I've been doing what I can to keep track.
Legit though, is there
Yeah.
any difference between that makeup and? Oh wait, sorry, I just realized. Got fucking
Oh.
Tally from Mass Effect there in the background on the left there,
Steal
and
everything.
Ollivander from Harry Potter. Although that's just straight up Urukai makeup.
That
Like
is just that is straight. That's Lurtz.
that's just fucking Lurtz.
Or Lurtz. Bye, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see you at the end of the film.
Bye
And
bye.
then this guy who I feel like I've seen something like him before, but he's gonna be relevant later.
It looks like the things from Little Nightmares.
Maybe. There's this guy in the back. It's kind of cool, actually. Like, he's the shoulder pads that are loaded up with candles. It's kind of a weird thing, I guess.
It's
that
a shame all the cool stuff is hidden in the background.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy that walks up. It's that ugly guy from earlier, who's like immediately touchy-feely on someone else's person. He assumes he's a slave for no reason.
Yeah, what?
It's fucking wild, and he keeps trying to force the fact that he's trying to buy this guy. It's fucking bizarre. It comes out of nowhere, and it's just to get this guy's
Bro, what the
balls
fuck?
grabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's just Zack Snyder was constantly horny. There's so much horny in this movie.
Yeah. Jesus
Legitimately.
Christ.
And now he's threatening the owner.
Wow, you're holding a knife to somebody you're trying to buy this dude from. Sweet.
Sexuals are weird. Like, sexual people are just weird, man. Like, come on.
But yeah, we just need another scene to show that she's badass and she can just tussle with the best of them.
Okay, how I
That's
mean,
twice now, for the record.
whoa,
We'll get
what?
there.
dude, she works out a bit, so I okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't have your characters do things like with a personality. Just have like win mini fights. That's
yeah.
all you need.
Yeah.
So also, this weird Metroid brain thing is possessing Henry Cavill here, to speak. And I cannot not see this as Henry Cavill in some way, because like it has like the same
Yeah.
mustache he had in fucking Mission Impossible Fallout. Like
Yeah.
I
Same coiffed hair too.
yeah, I cannot help but see this being a reference. Like maybe, oh god, it's probably a reference to the fact that Zach didn't get to do what he wanted with the Justice League. I bet that's what this is.
Lord.
But yeah, then they're like, oh, Titus, we know where he is. He's at the Coliseum at Pollux. And then he's like really creepy.
And you just tell them.
Yeah, just tells them where to
Just
go.
'cause.
Just go to Pollux.
And it's still going to take us an hour to get to that Coliseum.
It was
or
that
the blood
easy.
axes.
It was that easy to find that information. No coaxing, no like negotiating, nothing. It's just
nope. And then this guy walks back in with a couple of mercenaries. And really, they try to negotiate down, but she just ends up kicking all their asses. So this is number 3 in the slow-mo times our character is badass. And once again, these shots cannot penetrate a wood table, yet can go clean through a human corpse. Like you guys,
Physics.
bone is often harder than wood in many circumstances. You can.
Yeah.
It's not easy to break.
But Raymond, the cool factor.
Also, Raymond, isn't this so cool? Look at the slow-mo. Oh my
Look
god.
at her moving.
Clean shot. And then, of course, Steve is just getting the shit kicked out of him by this guy.
Steve sucks the entire movie. He's so
Why
lame.
are you going for the leg? Just
Bruh.
shoot him.
Yeah,
Just
why didn't you shoot him? Why are you not getting... You shot the other guys. What?
Yeah. Like this guy. Why didn't you go non-lethal for him? And then you have this guy who does actually do the kill on the guy that she should have shot.
Yep.
Just
Also,
so that
asshole had a gun the whole time. Why didn't he use...
Why didn't he? Good question. But yeah, no, it's mahogany. Yeah, so this is Kai. He will be our asshole traitor for the traitor in both senses of the term.
He's like a not Han Solo. He and Steve are doing two halves of what Han Solo kind of is.
Yeah. Izanagi, okay, I love cool factor, but it's just stupid. Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
We stand Steve in this house. Steve is a good kid.
Yes.
We could honestly, really fast forward through the majority of the movie from this point.
I think
it's mostly just them running into various people who are like, this guy's strong. And then we see them do a slow-mo fight scene to prove how strong they are. Well, and then they don't talk at all during the movie. Yep. And then we run into the next one.
Yep.
So, yeah, basically they head towards the spaceport. The Uruk-hai knows... my name's Kai. My ship's down at the port. I'm trying to think. He, I think, mentioned at some point, oh, I know a guy. I think that's the only segue we get going to Tarek's world or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to stop in. There's a rancher there. There's a rancher there. He has a man that might work out for you. Is he worth our time? Because we can't afford to waste any. I think
they waste a ton. So that's a lie.
So much time. So they barely talk. It's all shop. It's no actual character stuff, and it's
just all exposition crap.
I feel bad for these actors. A lot of them are putting in a good effort, but they're just not.
Yeah.
Oh god, this scene! I forgot about this scene. So we catch up with the villains, and we get basically the Vader in the pod moment. From Strikes Back, where this guy is just plugging his hookah in to his weird chest nipples. You might be like, well, nipples are on the chest, but no, you understand. They're lower. They're all over his torso. The man's like a cat.
All right, I heard of pumping shit into your veins, but this is insane. Is he like a cyborg? Is this some cyberpunk shit? Is that a cyberpunk reference?
I don't know if they ever explain it.
They don't ever explain this either, because he immediately walks over to his pool with his octopus, and it's just...
It's just another Zach Snyder horny moment.
Yeah.
Zach, if you want to make a porno, you said so online that if your film fails, you'll go to making porn. Just go make porn.
Just do it, dude. Just make some high quality pornos, and you'll probably do better there.
It seems like that's what he wants to do in the first place. So why don't just do it?
his porns have like too much exposition, slow motion of them like taking their clothes off.
Oh my god!
Here's the thing. Actually, here's the thing though. If he works on porn, then like dude, that will actually solve his exposition problem because everybody will skip those parts anyway.
It's like, oh no, I don't have enough money to pay for this pizza. Slow-mo shots of them rummaging through their purse to find money for the pizza.
Oh, it's gonna be like during the sex scene, you just get like the dick and balls just in slow motion. It's like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like Nostalgia Critic, she did a video and in one of the skits was like
Nostalgia Chick?
No,
what?
It was her getting hit in the face with like a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, that.
She wants everyone to forget that.
Yeah, she wants to, but it was hilarious, and
It was really funny.
very applicable to what I think that Zach Snyder porno would look like.
Of course, we don't get to the I don't have enough money to pay for my pizza scene until it's 40 minutes of him making the pizza in slow motion as well.
Yeah. Dude, there's more pizza porn than actual porn.
What the fuck is happening to this guy?
What? Yeah, I have no idea. What?
So they go to this planet, literally nowhere near where they need to go. And they stop by just to get this guy who is like
this pisses me off. Okay. Oh my god. So we go through this whole thing with him like proving that he can tame the griffin creature outside. Like he does a whole like 20-minute long action sequence where he rides the griffin. And I was like, this is awesome. We're going to include a griffin into our team of heroes. He's going to be like a beast tamer. That'll be great.
Nope.
No, he doesn't. And I was like, okay, well, maybe what we'll do is every new location we get to, he'll befriend some local fauna, and then he'll, like, beast tame them to help him fight in cool, unique, and it'll be a cool way to, like, explore the world.
No.
Oh, that doesn't happen.
None of that. We can't have fun here. This is a Zack Snyder film.
That would be too interesting, Critter. Jesus.
We need more time for
Yeah.
Slow. In fact,
What do you think this is, Pokemon?
This
Come
is one of
on.
the instances in the film where not only... Okay, so let me just give you the setup here. They go to this guy, and they're like, we want this guy for our team. And the guy who owns him is like, no, he's my slave. However, I do love gambling, so if you wager yourselves, all three of you guys as slaves, I'll let you take the bet if he can tame this bird, or this griffin. If he can tame this griffin, he's free. If he can't, you guys get enslaved. Which, first of all, I would not take that bet. I would sooner just kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, no.
Right.
But secondly, like, why? You gain nothing but 3 shitty slaves out of this. We don't even know what they can do.
Yes.
Like, you don't, like, what's benefit?
Except
it's the facade
one
of
is good at
stakes.
fighting thugs and the other is absolute dog shit at it.
Yeah. So he gets up on this griffin, and there's this long, extended flight sequence. I want to see how long this is.
Well, ripping off How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, ripping up How to Train Your Dragon
So,
and
from when he
Harry
hops in
Potter.
the pen, when he hops in the pen, all right, it's 1 hour flat, so it's gonna be easy to time.
He bows just like in Harry Potter.
So this extended sequence lasts until it's 5 minutes. It is a 5-minute sequence during which not only do they slow-mo, within slow-mo,
God.
they slow-mo within slow-mo within slow-mo. They slow-mo
Dog,
3
slow-mo
fucking
shit.
layers. I have never seen that in my fucking life before.
Oh my god. Dude. I'm just imagining like a meme where it's like, okay, it's the first slow-mo in this scene. And it's like the scene of like Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi saying more, and as it keeps saying more, as it keeps getting slower and slower.
Philip Schwartz. It's derivative in all the worst ways. It's lacking any distinct identity on its own. Then you get those nonsensical action scenes. What the fuck? Yeah, it's just... Also, the entire flight sequence was nonsense, too. Like, there was a part where they, like, grind up against the side of a wall for a good chunk of it. Like,
Yeah.
which would
Yeah.
break the
And
fucking
the worst
griffin's
thing is,
wing.
this is in my opinion, this was the best part of the movie because there was no dumb exposition, no stupid fantasy crap. It was just a guy and his
pet.
fantasy horse, basically.
It's cool.
Dude,
Like,
you could have done the whole story following this guy.
You could have.
Who is like a former slave who, during this whole conflict, who somehow gets roped in to fighting for the rebels and shit. That would have been amazing.
I was
That
gonna
would have
say,
been a
this
great
man is just
story.
Tarzan.
Yeah, I was about to say that, dude. You can have this awesome main character with Tarzan ass hair. Like,
This is Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, but
Yes!
Griffin.
dude, you got griffins in a sci-fi setting. That I don't think I've ever seen anything do that.
Against convention, the slave dealer is like, well, fuck it. You did it. You're free. And actually honors his word, which is like, damn, okay. I mean, fine. Weird fucking bet, weird day, but you're a man of your word. I can appreciate that. So, Tarek leaves. Tarek leaves with our heroes, and the Griffin stays, and immediately this guy gets his comeuppance, I guess, for being a slaver, but he's also a man of his word, which makes me kind of feel sympathetic when this happens to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets shoved
It
off.
also just makes me think, why didn't we just kill him right off the bat?
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
This is good. Anyone else to find along the way? That was
You have
that's
to do
it.
that right into the microphone.
Jesus.
Wait,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't think that would pick it up.
So then the next
I'm
segue is,
glad.
do you have anyone else in mind? And then we go to this next planet where we're just suddenly traveling with the person that we're coming to meet. Like, they land here.
Okay.
And then, like, we cut to them in an elevator with a bunch of random people, some alien folk, and this lady who's wearing a hat who's very clearly inspired by the sisters from Kubo and the Two Strings.
Two strings, yeah.
Which, a grave insult to that film.
still
This is a
need-
great film.
I still
that's
need
what-
to see that film.
You
so
you
good.
need to. It's a travesty that you haven't.
It's not. I pointed this out.
Hey,
It's
we
not,
can put it on the.
It's not a
I don't
complicated
know if
film.
we can.
It's not a complicated film by
Okay.
any means, but it's a solid film. It's just well written, well done.
I'll
so
put
good.
that on the list.
But yeah, they're just traveling with this lady
Kubo
because
is-
apparently there's this spider monster lady that has kidnapped children.
Is it
and-
the spider monster played by Kirsten Dunst?
fucking what?
I remember her as like
What?
a super famous actress. Hold on. Rebel Moon
Oh my
spider
fucking God.
actress.
Oh my god.
It better not be. By the way, if you have arachnophobia, please avert your eyes now. We'll let you know when it's safe. I know Fat Man had a conniption when we got to this part.
Oh,
No.
Jenna
no.
Maloney. Hold on. No, maybe not. I might be wrong.
Ah, we're safe.
I don't know.
Nah, her name is Jenna Malone, I think. I was wrong. It's not Kirsten Dunst.
So,
it looks like Kirsten Dunst.
My immediate thought upon seeing this thing was there was that episode with the 10th Doctor. I think it was the start of his run with his last run, actually, his last season with what's her face, Donna, where they had to fight that arachnid creature in the basement of some tower somewhere.
Oh, the Christmas special.
The Christmas special, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh, no,
that was
going
like
into
the
his
first
second
special.
season. Yeah, it was the first season
Oh,
going
okay,
into
my
the
bad.
second season. And that was the first time he met Donna that was setting her up for her season in season 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Where the running joke was that she had nothing in her pockets because wedding dresses don't have pockets.
Oh.
What is
Yeah,
this?
that was funny.
Yeah, it was really
Doctor
funny.
Who. No, I that was probably the first thing of Doctor Who because I never heard of it until I met my friend, Lone Crit, co-host of the New Types
that's a good
podcast.
episode to come in.
And he showed that to me as like an introduction to Doctor Who, and I'm like, yo, this is great.
I actually was avoiding Doctor Who because it was so popular on Tumblr, and I just didn't like getting into popular things simply because everyone was saying you should get into it because it's popular. But I happened to catch it a marathon of Doctor Who during Christmas because Doctor Who always gets marathons during Christmas time, and that was kind of weird. But I caught the episodes where they were dealing with the silence, and that was amazing. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to watch this now.
It's just really disappointing that the silence turned out to be kind of dull after the initial episodes that they were in. Which happened to be the ones that I caught. Because, like, these creatures are such that you only remember that you encountered them as long as you were looking at them. You forget the moment that you stop looking at them. So there is this whole scene where the characters, in order to remember that they have encountered these things, they started keeping tallies by writing on their bodies. And it's just like these hard cuts, and then all of a sudden you see like their counts have gone up. And it's really scary. And then you find out later that they're just fucking religious priests.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I was so disappointed in that.
But yeah,
like, really?
This lady comes crawling on down, and she's like, you want this child, but I'm taking this child because my children will never be born because of pollution or something. Like, weakens my eggs now. What weakens your eggs? Taste the air. The air weakens your eggs. So she's like, I'm going to start kidnapping people, and it starts this fight sequence to show off this new character, Nemesis, who is so relevant that after this fight, she does not have a single line of dialogue.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I hate this whole scene.
No one in this is a good person, because it's just Nemesis and her fighting for, like, no one tries to help. No one tries to shoot this thing, especially
No,
now.
Steve
Yeah,
does.
I was about to say they got
does.
guns.
I was going to point him out. Steve runs in to save the little girl, which is great. Steve is actually a big damned hero in this. But literally no one else could just shoot this. Anyone could shoot this fucking thing. And, like, no one does. No one tries to help. This thing is obviously trying to kill her, and it's obviously in the wrong right now.
Yeah.
You mentioning Kirsten Dunst reminded me she's starring in the A24 Civil War film. I've heard it's gotten good reviews, so I might see it. I have no interest in that film.
Yeah, I just hate this whole scene because, like, I get it. It's a situation where these two mothers are fighting with each other for very legitimate reasons, but they don't really do anything to show the tragedy of the situation.
And it doesn't really tie into the plot either. It's like it's just a blip of like, oh, here's another interesting story we could be exploring, but we're not.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but they kind of turn the Spider Mother into a villain by saying, like, I'm going to kidnap and kill all of the children on this planet so that you all know how I feel. It's like, okay, but, you know, instead of, like, trying to fix the problem so that she can still lay her eggs and they can still be born and stuff, you're just like, nah, I'm gonna murder you.
Also, I think I like the effects for the Spider Lady. I think they're generally okay. When she moves too fast, there's, like, you can see, like, the CGI really strong. But otherwise, I think it's all right. It's actually... George
J for $5 says, you mentioning Kirsten Dunst reminded me she's... Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I think for some reason, I think my audio cut out when you read that.
All good. Oh, that's right. Also, Nemesis has lightsaber things or whatever, and she didn't use them first.
And you didn't open with that?
No, she has. Remember? Well, maybe you didn't, because I don't think any of you were on Tumblr back then. But there was, like, this thing going around about this hot glowing knife. It's like, instant.
Oh, the 1,000 degree knife challenge, whatever.
Yeah. The instant toast.
I heard of it.
The instant toast, yeah, that's what they look like. They just look like the knife toast. Yeah.
And then they fly off, and, like, oh, they have a scene here. Forgot about this.
I guess Nemesis joined them. That's her name.
Yeah.
Also, I guess she joined because reasons.
We are an hour and 15 minutes into this film. We have an hour left.
Hey, Raymond, remember that thing you were going off about in regards to, you know, the problem with the Sailor Moon manga and Crystal about, the other main characters in this team show, not interacting or growing to be a team in this team show. I'm starting to get a very similar feeling right now here. I don't know about the rest of you.
I don't know. I don't know at all what you're talking about. At all.
Oh well, maybe I'm just tripping. I'm sorry.
No, you're
I'm sorry to derail you guys.
Yeah, and then we get more of the conversation where she talks about her. Oh, this is why she talks about her backstory. Where
this is the one moment of magic. And it's like
also
revivify.
Correct me.
But also,
is that the actress that played Katara in the movie of Avatar? I feel like it is, but I don't know.
I think so. What's the princess's name?
I don't fucking know.
Ugh.
I feel like that person would be much older now.
Also, my appeal over my copyright strike got rejected.
Oh.
Come on!
Oh, I have to reappeal, I guess. That's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. Holy shit.
That's what I have for Issa. Princess Issa.
But this chick could not be the one from Avatar. She's way older now.
No.
Yeah.
I'm looking her up. She has no acting credits.
Oh dear.
She was in like Chicago PD at one point in time. A couple of things I don't know.
Her goddamn wiki page on the Rebel Moon wiki does not list an actress.
Oh my god!
This poor child did not want to be associated with this movie.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Or the wiki was trying to protect this.
But
child,
she just reminds me a lot of Katara in that movie. And then was it
Bland and Forgettable?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely up there. She reverts. She brings a bird back from the dead. That's what she does. That's her magic. And that's it. And when she becomes queen, I believe she'll bring compassion.
That's also there. He is. That's him. That's Carrie.
Oh my God, you're right. That is Carol Elways. Carol Elways.
Carol, what the fuck?
King for some reason, my brain mixes up his last name with the word "you," which is the word for baby sheep.
It is spelled similarly.
I was hoping that King K. Rool was in this movie. God damn it.
So wait, you want her to be the leader that brings back the compassion that you've lost. Why can't you just bring back the...
Yeah, be compassionate now.
Yeah, just be compassionate.
Or like,
now.
I mean, maybe the idea is that like, oh, I've been fighting this war, whatever, for so long, but hopefully after the war is over, she can be the leader that the people need in this peaceful time or something like that. But we have no idea what the hell is going on.
So finally, we arrive at one of our main quest markers, and we get to Pollux, where there's a massive coliseum. Everything looks like Roman times for whatever fucking reason in this futuristic sci-fi.
300.
300 and Gladiator. We can have both.
Like, I'm not going to knock the aesthetic too much because in Legend of Galactic Heroes, the Galactic Empire, aside from the soldier wear and everything, the aesthetic of what are they called, the Gudambam dynasty, pretty much everyone's dressed like they're from old England, even though everything else is sci-fi.
Okay, so I have the White Rose jar. Are we allowed to commission a jar for Kaiser when it comes to invoking either that show or Gundam? Can we?
Yes.
Come on! Just brought it up.
Look, and to be fair, we can give Twy a Digimon jar.
I have barely brought up Digimon during these streams.
Okay, then we'll.
You just did, Twilight. Aha! I have trapped you.
We'll give her the Kingdom Hearts jar then.
I'm barely also invoking Kingdom Hearts. I've tried my best to vary the things that I reference. Thank you very much.
Oh, but what about Fractured Fairy Tales, though?
When was the last time that I talked about Fractured Fairy Tales?
This
honest.
stream! You mentioned it in this stream!
No, I haven't. I told you. It was a different story that I had on the back burner.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's called
I don't get
Hummingbird
any
Feeder.
jars. I'm jar free.
So far.
so-
Just to give us more
so-
time.
So far.
We'll develop a knowledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, they find Titus like immediately. They get him washed up, and the most useless fucking scene happens where he's like, "I'm old and washed up, and I can't fight anymore." And she's like, "But rebellions are built on moons." And he's like, "Oh, I guess you're right. I guess I'll join you now."
It also pisses me off because we saw everyone else got a fight sequence to introduce them.
And we're at a
This is
Coliseum!
like the big fighting guy they've been looking for, and we don't see him
Yeah.
battle until the last fight.
Yeah, that sucks.
Also, dude, wash off your fucking head. You just had a fucking spritz there. Why are you still covered in dirt?
Also,
Ugh.
terrible lighting.
I think it's I don't mind this lighting. Like in a good movie, you could be using this lighting to great
Mhm.
effect. It's like shadow their faces and everything. But it's not being used at all here.
No.
It's because we don't know these fucking characters.
No.
Like-
I understand what they were probably trying to do here is that, they're both soldiers and they both understand, they both have trauma as a result of that and they're sort of bonding with that. But I'm guessing, because I didn't get this far, I'm guessing the dialogue was the big poopy and that wasn't done very well.
When is the dialogue not the big poopy?
That
in
is
this
a
movie?
good point. There's I posted this into the chat a while back after we watched. There was a short that came across my feed of Mark Hamill reciting this line that he basically forced George Lucas to cut from the original.
Oh, I
book.
remember that, yeah.
And it was this gobbledygook talking completely about like all this random shit that didn't need to be brought up. That's what this film is. It's that it's that line uncut and copy pasted throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah,
Zach would have been the guy who's like, man, that line was so fucking cool. That should have stayed there.
so now we're back with Billy and Murphy, and he's changed clothing. So now he is in a suit and tie. So he looks even more like Cillian Murphy in Peaky Blinders. So
Yes.
add that another one
Yep.
to the list. And now they're torturing this guy who we saw get captured back at the Japanese village on North Mexico.
Also, Chronosphere art.
Oh, new Chronosphere art.
Nice.
Yeah.
15 minutes into the movie. Celtic, when does the plot start? And I'm just sleeping. Me and Critter are sleeping, and Twilight is struggling to stay awake. And you're like,
Yeah.
maybe it starts in another 15 minutes. Artist note: the main
No.
plot did not start in the next 15 minutes.
I'm not falling asleep. I've decided to play a mobile game.
But yeah, they torture this guy, and I don't think they really get anything worthwhile out of him.
Not really.
Do they? Oh, Levitica. Oh, that's right. He gives up the fucking rebels.
Yeah.
Even though, like, one of our main characters already knew who the rebels were and all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, just by word of mouth. It's like just talking to a random guy.
Yeah. And then,
Why didn't you guys think
surprising-
to talk to random guys?
and because
It's surprising to me that the rebels even exist because it seems like it's so easy to just like destroy them.
But yeah, no, then Billy and Murphy loads this thing up and just kills the guy. I think it kills him. It might paralyze him.
No, it paralyzed him, but he did say dissect his brain, so he is going to die.
Right. So yeah, this
That sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
that goes.
So this guy's going to be alive when
Oh
his
my
brain gets
God.
dissected.
Wait a minute, I gotta get this.
He even
shot.
walks like Cillian
This-
Murphy. Jesus.
This looks like the fucking loading screen for the PS2.
It
Wow.
was.
Yeah.
This looks like
Honestly-
the visual effects from like Batman, like the '80s one.
It looks so fake. I don't know how you manage it.
It
There are
does.
things in this film that don't look
Dude,
fake, and there are things that
Ratchet and freaking Clank looks better than this. The first Ratchet and Clank game looks better
Also,
than this.
what the fuck is this place? The home planet of King Levitica. Sharon, whatever. They go to this floating monuments place, which is ripped off of Halo. So, chalk that
Or
one up.
Destiny.
Or Destiny.
Or
Either
Destiny.
of those. They just rip off, Bungie. That's fine. So then they go to meet King
Yeah.
Levitica, who is this fucking Gungan.
Mhm. They're looking for like the blood moons or
The
whatever.
blood axes, yeah. And he's like, yeah, no, I'll just get you in touch with them. That's fine. Like, and then they show up with this massive, like, fleet of airships, of dropships. And then they walk off. And then, I know I'm fast forwarding through a lot, but A, I'm tired.
Also, it's so much nothing. Like they are not
It is.
interesting characters. They don't
Yeah.
say anything meaningful.
The most interesting thing is that they're ripoffs of Mad Max Fury Road, all the war boys and all that bullshit. So chalk that one up.
Also, despite being gassed up as these like mega, like the big rebels that the bad guys have been looking for this whole time, one of them dies instantly.
Yeah, we'll get there. We get some talk no jutsu bullshit going on, and it ultimately convinces this guy to be like, yeah, no, we're going to go protect them. And he's like, I gotta go make a rousing speech to convince people to come with us. And it's like, what? You're their commanding officer. You can just tell them to come. You can just order them. Say, we're going to do this now. But he's like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And then...
Remember, she's gathering this like mega squad of amazing warriors to save one tiny little farm town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're all on board to help this one tiny farm town that has done nothing for them.
Promise them
Yep.
bread
Yep. Yeah.
and a horse.
All of this for bread.
And the Elk King.
Yeah.
And then this
Dude,
steps forward,
dude.
who's like Darian's lover, Milius, I guess is her name. And
Okay.
she's like, oh, I'm going to be banty with you. And then he's like, I'm going to be banty back. And then literally after that, they just have a bunch of people come with them, and they leave the sister behind, who will presumably die in this next scene. Then we
I
get-
would imagine she's totally dead. Like,
Okay.
she does not appear ever. And, like, right after this, the planet gets invaded by the Empire, so yeah, she's totally dead.
Mm.
no, she'll totally be alive next film. I guarantee we're going to see her on screen again.
Right.
But,
But
realistically,
she should be dead.
But yeah, then Kai is like, oh, I know how you're going to do this because you made me a better
Mm.
man. You inspired me. It's like, when?
This is
Dude,
the only time he's
when-
spoken
Who?
since we met
Wait,
him.
why? Dog. See, this is the thing. This is the thing we were talking about. They're not being. They didn't build up the team in this team movie. Now they pretending that they're building up this team in the team movie. I pisses me off.
I
Stop
mean,
it.
it is Kai, though, so it could have just been, like, him shoving it up his ass
it
and
is.
being like,
It
yeah,
is.
I'm gonna
It's-
pretend.
It's 100% him shoving it up her ass. Like, that's about it. Like, just
Yeah,
smoking all the
okay.
way up.
Dude, why wasn't that Steve's scene? If anything.
Well, because it was supposed to, like, it's supposed to be signaling that Kai is evil. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve was always a good man. He was just
Yeah.
stupid and naive.
Yeah, and so here we are, Mr. Gungan Levitica, Encyclopedia Leviticus. He gets captured by Noble, and Noble's like, "Oh, your code of honor and charity. It doesn't matter that you were following your code. Well, too bad you crossed us. So we get to destroy
Okay.
your fucking planet now."
So Noble is willing to like destroy this planet, which in my mind looks like it offers many more resources, but
Yeah.
can't do anything about.
To a farm.
Well, that's the thing. Is,
Not even a
have they said
farm
any-
planet.
yeah.
It's just a planet with this one farm in it.
Yeah, they haven't established that they're spreading out among the entire planet, getting more farms on board. No, it's literally
Yeah.
just Ben. Like, if it were the entire planet they were rebelling with, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there to actually defend. But it's just this one fucking village that has, like, 30 people in it. 300,
Yep.
but 30 people. And then they have this fucking cannon up here that is a world ender. Like, what? Watch. We're going to fast forward. One, he's going to die. Bug mango splat.
Oh.
But they fire this cannon. That is a nuclear blast from one shot.
What the fuck? Okay, how are they losing again?
I don't know. You tell me. It's
That
like,
farm's gonna
seriously.
need some really good defenses.
like, if you wanted to make the argument, well, they don't want to destroy the resources, I don't know why they're blowing up this fucking planet. There's probably
Yeah.
something on this planet worth eating. Also, the fact that they've almost successfully tracked down the Blood Axe is going to make everything moot anyway, because they won't need the resources anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His entire plot is just an Ouroboros of shit.
Yeah.
It's
Why would the Blood
Sure.
Axes stay in this place for so long anyways?
Why wouldn't you travel
Yeah.
around
They-
constantly?
Yeah, like they know that they're wanted people. And yet, from the sounds of it, they'd been just hanging out on this planet for like upwards of a year.
Kamen Rider Black Sun, we've been watching it sporadically with a couple of people
Ooh.
in the sketchies, and there's a rebel group
Nice.
in the past, in the flashback segments. Characters were part of a rebel group, and they were constantly on the move, and they constantly bitched about the fact they had to break down camp and move every few days.
Yeah.
It's like it's an important thing for a fledgling rebel group to stay alive.
Yes. Now, I will say I have mixed feelings overall about Kamen Rider Black Sun, but it did get at least that right.
It did the Faunus subplot better than Ruby.
Yeah.
That is not a hard feat.
We're now on planet Gondoval, which is close to the word gonad, and so I'm going to assume it's him being horny again.
Yeah.
This is the climax.
Yeah, this is the climax. We're at Space Denny's. Wait, what was it? Is it Buc-ee's? I guess that's what's in Texas. It's like more than just a normal gas station. It's like a full store. Like we're at a fucking Buc-ee's, everyone. This is where our climax is going to take place.
Oh, we have that for some of our Huskies here, where you have like the Husky convenience store, and then you have a restaurant attached to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this
They
guy,
have really good hot chocolate.
Kai comes in and is like, just take the gray ones. They're all marked, all right? For God's sakes, don't look inside them. I'd hate you to think less of me. But guess what those boxes are? Remember back. Those boxes happen to be those mimics that everyone saw, or our two main characters saw earlier in the film, taking that one guy away. So they should know what it looks like.
Don't pay attention to those boxes that I'm telling you to kind of pay attention to. Okay, sir, we're not going to pay attention to those boxes.
Yeah, there's the Urukai, who dresses like my dad. I'm kidding. My dad doesn't dress that fleek. Anyway,
oh my
Cool.
God.
Yep, all polos and slacks. Yep, all the old trusty, white boy shit. Dragon Ball Z. Don't forget, the entire story happened because the royal family ruled for 1,000 years, but the entire bloodline somehow ended when the current rulers died. I never picked up on that. Holy fuck!
What?
Yeah, no.
Wait, they're talking about this movie?
Yes.
Like,
Where the fuck?
I can understand that if they did like an Anastasia thing where the entire royal family was
wiped
taken. Yeah, it was wiped out pretty much. But like, yeah, no, it should be that you need to establish that if you have a family that runs this long, there are going to be siblings that can take over. There are going to be foreign relatives, distant cousins.
Right.
Somebody. Like, even I accounted for this in my novel.
And actually, yeah, and I'm actually, that's one of the things I'm planning on doing with my own story, Trials of Aeon, name drop. I'm still workshopping it, of course. But yeah, with a powerful family, if you have an oligarch, I mean, not oligarch. Is it? Monarchy, whatever. Yeah, monarchy. And it's family succession, then yeah, it makes sense that you would need to actually like give us an understanding what the hell happened to the siblings. Like, what the fuck happened to them?
That's specifically why royal families had such big families, because you didn't know which of your children were going to survive, because surprise, surprise, back then you had a very large mortality rate, almost 50-50 within the first year of a child's life. To the point where I think Europe, they didn't name children until they reached like almost 1 year of age, because you just didn't know whether that child would just spontaneously die or not. You had like 20 births to have like 7 children.
God damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, they get off this ship, and while they're putting shit down and not questioning those weird fucking boxes that were totally highlighted to them and they should totally recognize, and everyone's parking their fucking space cruisers and air fighters, that's when Wet Towel notices the Urukai from earlier, and it's like, wait a minute, that Urukai that the Kai was talking to might have been related to the other Urukai outside, and she gets the inclination that, oh no, we're about to be betrayed.
Yep.
And she's like, she does nothing during all of this. She's like, oh, this isn't right. And he's just like, oh.
Not a thing.
Yep. So they get blasted out of the sky. Basically, a bunch of people die in the blood axes. And those boxes come alive. They're the mimics, and they just chain everyone up. How they know who to go for, I don't know.
Magic.
It was if it just grabbed like a random dock worker. Just like,
Oh yeah.
oh fuck, sorry Philip, let me get you down from there. So then everyone else is held at gunpoint and then like taken captive.
Who could have possibly betrayed the team? Was it the one guy who got a random extra moment to talk to our main character suddenly right before this?
It really, it feels like an alien wrote this, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has no idea what it means for storytelling.
That's what I said. I said that during our watch through. I said that it was like an alien who looked at human culture and tried to replicate it, but didn't understand.
Well, by all means, take the credit for that. I'm not gonna. I clearly digested that very well. Then.
Yeah, don't fucking colonize her take. How dare you?
Mansplaining my take.
Yeah, then get more slow panning shots as the villains come in on this big ass ship. Oh god, we are going to get to that big ass ship. I was laughing through this entire finale. So yeah,
I remember when this started, I was like, "Is this the end? It ends here at the gas station?"
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
I'm fucking.
So yeah, Kai is like, "Oh, I did it all for the money. I betrayed you. These guys with silly hats are gonna take you away." And then, of course, we've got, Billy and Murphy showing up and also taunting them.
I'm only on the side of the side that wins.
And he fucking names and describes all of our characters for us again because we didn't get enough of them earlier.
And drops information that we haven't heard before either.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like we could have, I don't know, maybe talked about this.
But then we get even more going on because he tells Kai, hey, you go paralyze what's-her-face because she's so valuable as the former guard of the princess. And he forces Steven, or boy Steve, to try and do it. Steve somehow knows that if he turns this device a certain way, it will release her, not fire the gun, and then he can use it as a pile driver into Kai's head. How does he know how any of this fucking works?
That'd be amazing if he did it on accident. Like, he was totally ready to kill her. He's like, oh, panic, do something.
It's
Dog.
such a... everything about this device is just bullshit.
Yeah.
But of course, she gets free. She grabs a gun. And...
Poses.
What?
She doesn't even shoot it. What the fuck?
Yeah, she
what?
doesn't shoot immediately. And then the entire fight sequence is them just it's more just bullshit fighting. I don't want to even go into the choreography because it's all garbage. She should be shot a dozen times over. Everyone should. There was a long pause as she fell from the thing that no one shot her with. And then, like...
And even though we have, like, all these different kinds of characters, they all fight the same way. They all get the same gun and fight the same way. Nemesis doesn't use her cool lightsabers. There's no beast for Tarzak to ride on or whatever. It's so lame.
It is awful. And this blows up a bunch of people, but none of our main characters are caught in it, thankfully. Well, I guess Villain is, but he's fine.
What do you mean, thankfully?
And the Malveil!
Let it end,
but then they go around freeing more of the team, and she does use the lightsaber once.
The one.
And it was to kill Urukai, and not even in a cool way. Then she frees.
Yeah, it's just such.
It's just slop from here on.
It also does this really stupid thing. So like everyone's bullets are red, so you have no idea what's happening. Make the good guys' bullets blue. It's so simple.
Just color code it based on their soul, I guess. Also, this guy, like, you're getting. Do you guys not expect to get shot? What the fuck are you planning here? Like, of course your stationary vehicles are going to get shot. So, God, there's this really stupid moment where Darius here, whatever his name is, just does a fucking pipe, and he decides to do this solo charge to take on the fucking air cannon that's blowing the shit out of people. One, he's not getting heat here for standing still for a prolonged period of time.
Nope.
And then he jumps, slow-mo all over the place, stabs through, misses. This guy pulls a pistol and kills him, but his last attack is to stab this guy through the chest, which then has him fall over, pull the control stick to the side, which, for some reason, a turret controls the entire fucking ship. So it now lists to the right and crashes.
It is the biggest, goofiest chain of events.
It makes no goddamn sense.
Okay, I don't know which is more nonsensical, this or Alex Luthor's plan in Batman v Superman. Probably still that plan, but the jury's kind of out on this.
Martha.
But yeah, then we get. So she charges towards this guy instead of just letting this giant collapsing ship just take care of him for her. She wants to make sure
shooting
he's
him.
dead. Or shooting him. Like, either of those options would have been preferable to running forward to make sure you're on the same table as him. I don't. Sorry.
It's hard to talk about this movie because it's like when you're sitting there slogging through the opening when they're in their farmland, and then you just get to this bullshit. You're just like, what the hell are you doing?
I guess this fuck is happening now. Like, the entire ship is going down. One turret crashes, and the entire ship goes down. Hundreds of people, thousands of people dead in one sweep. And then, like, she and he get knocked off this thing onto a space buoy, I guess. And it's a prolonged fight between them that's really brutal and violent. And then she ends up getting, like, a whip out of rope. And she beats the shit out of him. And, like, she breaks his stick thingy, so he's now weak again. And I think he gets stabbed by it. Did she stab him with it?
Yeah, she eventually does, once it breaks in half.
Yeah. And then she just beats the shit out of him and knocks him off the platform. And then she stands there heroically as he goes falling to his death. And then there's this girl who stares dramatically at the crash. And it's like, this guy is standing behind her being, like, sad, I guess. Trying to
I didn't think this random extra bandit lady was gonna be important. I was like, why the fuck are you here? It's like a background character.
Who are you?
She's clearly Furiosa.
Yes.
Yeah, she does look like Furiosa. Holy crap.
Yeah, so then there's like they share their last lines of a fucking movie where it's like, honor the dead with everything you can find from now on.
Like, you weren't a character.
You aren't.
You
real.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, what?
You don't even go to school here. And then I didn't even recognize fucking Titus because we hadn't seen him after he cleaned up. Or we did, and it was so brief it didn't register with me.
It was so brief. It's like
Yeah.
he's on screen for like 3 seconds.
It's like he gives us
the
dramatic
guy
speech.
we were supposed to find for the entire movie.
He's like, oh, this is the beginning of something. This was a blow to the mighty empire. And it's like the death of an admiral.
Oh, it's a blow. It's a blow to something. A blow to my fucking brain cells.
Protocol will demand the ship's return. So basically, they're like, okay, we gotta. He saved us. We gotta.
See, our gawky nerdy guy that Zach Snyder likes to pretend he's his self-insert. He saved us. He is cool. Good job, Steve.
So yeah, then they land back and they get back to traveling back to their planet, and it's like, okay, the village is fine. I'm trying to get better shots. Titus is more like, and they're like, are you really who he said he were? And you're just like, Ty was a liar and a thief who nearly sold you all for a profit. And it's like, yeah, but you could just be honest with them. Like, you guys kind of fought and died beside each other. You could just be honest with them. Why
A
not?
lot of faith to save this one farm.
Yeah. Literally one farm.
Yep.
Aren't we all banty? We all love to bant with one another. We're all so bonded together. So
Where are we? Some kind of suicide squad?
they walk in, and we have the Stag Lord finally appears.
Also, this is all the grain that they wanted. This was the thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Behold,
Stag Lord
what the
has
fuck
conquered.
what did you do, man? Where did you go?
Mhm. And this is the
When was
version of him
this?
you'll see the most. He's on the box. He's everywhere. There's so much merch of this guy looking like this, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
There's
I would rather see
nothing
that
to
eternity.
this.
I wanted to
Stag
see
Yeah,
Lord
me
has
too.
conquered Norse Mexico.
And then later, we get our Darth Vader fucking moment where
Uh-huh.
Billy and Murphy is recovered.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, Billy and
If
Murphy
he
is
lives.
recovered, brought back to the Dreadnought, and
Go
then
fuck yourself.
placed in like a medical coma with like connectors. He's lured in naked because Zach needed one more horny shot for all of this.
Harry Ells tells him to
What?
get back out there. You failed the first time, so surely you'll win the second time, right?
Is that Carrie Ells?
Yeah.
I thought this
yes?
was I thought this was Belisarius.
I don't know, man.
Who's the person that
I
like,
think it's supposed to be Belisarius, yeah.
All these actors are blending in with each other. Stop it.
yeah.
Oh, they're all 3D flesh things. They all look the same to me.
You know, that's exactly how Zach Snyder thought about them. 3D flesh things.
Yeah.
There's also a million characters. And it's like, I don't remember your name. I don't know who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we have another coin for the coin jar. Oh,
What you guffawing at?
a new Chronosphere art.
Hmm.
It's my white
Oh,
rose
nice.
jar. Do I have to really go all the way up this time?
Yes,
Celtic,
Celtic, you did the thing
You
again.
guys are in a helicopter.
Nice.
Nice. This
Yeah,
is great.
the commander Belisarius is like, that's my wait. Oh yeah, his daughter. So this is Balathar yeah, a good show.
Yeah.
The voice of Syx is also the voice of Don Patch in that show.
Oh my
Which was
gosh.
funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Which
he's
was
like,
funny to find out when I met him.
So you will bring me my daughter, basically, and yeah, it's just bad guys being bad. That's all this is. It's bullshit.
Wait, so what was the point of bringing him back?
He's alive
mean,
again.
okay.
Yay.
Yay.
Why,
Okay.
we're gonna Palpatine him so quickly. I don't know how, but somehow
that's the
Palpatine
film.
survived.
That was genuinely like, it's fun to watch. Genuinely, I actually had a lot of fun watching this because it was so stupid just to shit all over. But my God, is it just such a bad film to actually critique? It is so
Mhm.
so empty.
Every
is
single
te-
thing is bad.
Okay, I didn't see the whole thing, and now I don't feel bad for not seeing the whole thing.
I mean, you should have. That
That's where
that
I'm at.
climax was goddamn hilarious.
Yeah.
When you see one guy in a turret turn a yoke and suddenly the entire ship is listing, when you're like, that shouldn't be the control for the entire fucking ship. It's gold. It's so gold.
Okay, maybe I'll just get to that later. But yeah, that was Rebel Moon, everyone.
Rebel.
Were we
this
even on a
Friday?
moon this whole time?
No. This Friday,
Yeah.
part 2 comes out, right?
Yep, we'll be watching
Yeah.
it this Friday. So if you guys want to be in there during the watch together, you should join up on the Tundra for $1 or more. With that, you gain access to the Team Frostbite Discord server, the Tundra, where I, Fatman Falling, Dashy Lee, and a whole host of other people, like here on Team Jack, most people here actually are decently active. Twy and Kaiser in specific are really active on there.
Not Critter though.
No.
Critter is like doesn't use Discord.
I don't.
Um,
I'm a lurker, even in my own Discord. I was just like, wow, you all said such interesting things. Anyway, I'm done now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Goodbye.
you
my
can-
planet needs me.
but yeah, you can join
My
the
Discord
Tundra
is empty
and,
except for you guys.
to replace like we did with last week. Instead of bad fan fiction night, we're gonna do bad movie night where we watch Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon Part 2,
Yeah.
The Scar Giver.
Woo! Yeah.
Fucking
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yippee!
Look at the excitement in my. You know what? The excitement in my voice perfectly replicates the excitement that is in this movie.
I'm
And I
so
think that's
excited.
good.
Yeah, here's your reference for the I'm excited. I became a character voice actor in Finnish Digimon. Woo.
All right. Well, let's have you has someone put all the fan art into the thing
Yes.
in the chat? Okay.
Kaiser did.
Excellent.
Wait, what did I do?
Put all the
You
fan
put
art.
the art.
Oh yeah, I
You-
did. Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure I
I'm sorry, my Zach Snyder just destroyed my brain.
Mhm.
Okay, why is this not working? Let me get the properties.
It was all the slow-mo. It makes your brain move in slow-mo.
True.
Click on that and then properties. Come on. But why is the scuff not working? Come on. There it is.
Semblance.
All right. Move that over there.
Scuff semblance.
Scuff someone.
Come on, Discord. Work with me. Ah.
No.
There we go. All right. So all these are from Chronosphere. But we have
Yep.
our first episode back from Volume 9 to start us off for the Junior Detective. Yeah, I don't care. I hate Sailor Moon. So much better. Also, great
Yeah.
Sailor Moon. I love her. She's adorable. Skirts are hard, I hear, so I applaud that. Oh, I should probably readjust this for size. Work with me.
Oh, that's some great art. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through Twitter right now, and I
Yeah.
just saw some really. I saw some really good Batman art. I didn't expect to see it.
The bushels, the bread, the numbers, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's a
true.
good one.
It is so good. It literally just no research was done on food production.
Absolutely not.
No.
Which you might say, oh well, you guys are being a little bit nitpicky, this stuff about the bread doesn't really matter. It's not what the film is about. Here's the thing, asshole. Okay, here's the thing, Straw Morty. All right. The thing is that this bread shit is literally the reason why the conflict in the movie happened the way it did and why we're here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how in the fuck are we supposed to, like, get with the conflict without when everything about this doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell?
All right, and our next one is 15 minutes into the movie. Celtic, when does the plot start? Maybe it starts in another 15 minutes. Artist note, the main plot did not start in the next 15 minutes.
Nope.
Painfully accurate.
Yep.
Then me and the White Rose Jar. Do I really have to go all the way up this time? Yes, Celtic, you did the thing again. Just great. I love it. I love the little symbols representing you guys.
Yeah. I love the way people have been able to truncate, like, okay, how are we going to, like, what symbols are we going to use to show that, okay, these are the guys? And I'm all like, yeah, I never thought that they would do that. I thought they would just stick to just showing us, but
Mine's just my
I
hair.
yeah.
Mine changes
I mean,
all the time.
I mean, would you rather it be your hair or a digi-egg?
I mean, I haven't really used the Digi-Egg very much.
Oh, true.
Alrighty. Well, that's it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. I know it felt kind of like it hit a drag point at some point during this.
Just like the movie.
Yeah. So I
So
want to thank you
clever.
all for like sticking
We're
through.
all so
and then
clever.
next week we'll discuss Rebel Moon Part 2. Yay!
Yeah.